Welcome to, I don't know what episode it is because this is the first impromptu episode that we've ever had, and we actually started it probably about a half hour early. And today we're going to have G, we're going to call him G because he is a G anyway, from LA. G from Green Dragon.
Yeah.
What's your Green Dragon?
It's the brand, but
cultivation?
it's Caregivers is the real, like the original, the first license, like the 2007 license is Caregivers. So Green Dragon Caregivers, and then we just, everything kind of went to Green Dragon, and then Green Dragon Collective, and then, we, all
Green
those.
Dragon Nursery.
Yeah, all that. Yeah,
All that
Green,
kind of
yeah, all that. And then our Green Dragon Coachella, so we got another store in Palm Springs, so kind of, all the same.
So people, we got a G for you guys today, and we're going to call him G for the rest of the show. But before we get any further, we'd like to thank our sponsors. We'd like to thank LED, the best LED markets in the game. There's no better inner canopy lights than Thinker LED. Powered by Trollmaster. Trollmaster, it's like Coca-Cola in the world of controllers. Everybody knows about Coca-Cola. Well, everybody knows about Trollmaster. So thank you, Trollmaster. Thank you, Thinker LED.
Shit.
Whatever that
Thank you,
was.
Trollmaster over here too. You know what I mean? That's we're using the hell out of them.
Mango Tech Store for providing this great space for a podcast, and mango juice. If you're not juicing, you're losing. All right, so now this is an impromptu podcast because I've been friends with Glenn for now since about 2016, 17?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Somewhere around
10
there.
years, about a decade.
Almost a decade. And funny because this guy's a G in the industry, and I don't think he's known as much as he should be because he's been around. He's one of the original 100 shops that was allowed or that was given a license in LA.
Yeah, Prop D, back in basically 2006, 2007, when the shops, the second wave of shops opened up, my business partner opened up Green Dragon. And then about a year after he opened it, I've been selling him weed the whole time. We basically partnered up and started doing extracts and really early on BHO, and then growing for the collective and like expanding the grows, kind of like took it from like where it was a smaller operation that was killing, and then myself and my partner Manny got together and blew it up, and like just ran with it, pushed it throughout the state, pushed the cultivations, kept expanding. And I hear you talk about it a lot on the podcast, like where it's like you got to get these skills for, like back in the day you couldn't call an HVAC guy. Back in the day you couldn't call an electrician. Back in the day you couldn't call a framer, right? Like if you wanted to expand, you had to have either a really good circle or you had to know how to at least do a large part of it yourself.
100%.
So that kind of, that was where I started growing at like scale for quality. Because I think before that, I was growing like since 94, 95 in Oakland, because I'm originally from the Bay. But I was growing up there, and I grew good weed, but I never understood the concept. Like when you grow for a collective or a retail store, if you the only one that grows weed there, if you have a top shelf, but you have a shitty run, you don't have a top shelf. And that's something that I never ran into, because before, back in the day, back in the day, you had a bad run, you cut a few hundred off of it, you send it down the road,
Correct.
right? It just goes.
Correct.
But at a store, when they're expecting this like quality or this certain thing that you've done, then you really can't miss that much. So you start not worrying about getting like how many pounds per light, and more like how good is this run, and then I want weight, but like as a secondary. So I think that was what was cool about being in the dispensary or kind of like getting in that early time. It helped refine like quality runs and caring about not just growing weed, because earlier on in like the 90s and stuff, it was more like you pulled it off, you didn't get busted, you got the weed out of there, you were able to like trim it up, it all worked, but you weren't like I don't know, I wasn't at that time perfecting the run to feel how awesome could we get it. That was a thought, but there were so many other things in it that you had to worry about, the landlord, the this, the that it made that not an afterthought, but I think it was harder. And then in LA, you had these shady landlords that knew exactly what you were doing. In Oakland, it was hide it from the landlord, don't say anything, they might be cool with it, they might not. In LA, it was like a dude that was like, look, how much you want to pay? Okay, you want to pay $350 a square foot? Blow it up.
I got
right? You know what I mean? So it was like as much as they were hazing you for the money, it gave you stability. You could actually build something.
felt safe. Yes, exactly.
You didn't have to move your grow in 6 months or a year. Or, you had like some stability instead of having to keep rebuilding. Like a lot of
Right.
people did that. I'm sure you had that.
You know what? We in Miami and Florida, it was slightly different. We grew indoors only in houses.
Yeah.
For a while, actually, Miami, or Florida was a record of indoor busts in the nation, maybe around the 2010, 2000 teens. But we didn't grow in warehouses in Florida. It was just
House.
it was very, very. I've heard of very, very seldom people had a special reason that they could get away with it. But when I came here, I was scared of warehouses. But everybody in LA, warehouses.
Look, LA,
Nobody
they were
flinched
doing
an eye.
they were doing fire inspections in LA. But when I was growing in Oakland in like 94, 95, 96, 97, there was never a fire inspection or anybody knocked on your door or anything. It was what it was. You know what I mean? Like you could do whatever the fuck you wanted as long as you made it down to PG&E and paid the money. The PG&E guys even told you, like, as long as you're not stealing, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, do whatever. So there was a little bit of safety in Oakland at that time, which made us feel kind of like that. I got lucky because, like my first career was music.
Okay.
And so like, 94 in Oakland, I'm going to look for a music studio, like a warehouse that I can build a studio in. And I walked down this long, like a hallway in West Oakland. And I had this manager at the time, a music manager, was this older gentleman and from Oakland. And he smelled and he immediately was like, somebody's growing weed here. And I had never smelled growing weed, so I had no fucking clue of what growing weed smelled like, only like smoking. And dude was like, yeah, I buy my flowers from these white guys in Berkeley, and they got my flyers for parties. And he's like, and they took me into this room, and it was growing.
Like
And so I kind of knew then that my neighbor was growing in like 94, and then just over time, that dude ended up sticking his head out, and like ended up asking me to come trim one night, and I trimmed fresh weed, which in 94, I don't know how many people experienced like the day of, trim weed, and it blew me away. It like locked me in. Like I wanted to like learn more about it, be a part of it, like fucking smoke more, trim more, grow more. I just wanted it opened me up. And then I got really lucky because I got real successful in music. And so like I ended up like working with like the Loonies, I Got Five on It guys, and then really early in their career, and then I ended up like doing a bunch of R&B stuff, and it was crazy because all these growers, they would see me be successful in music, like they would actually see shit come out, and so then they would show me everything because they knew I was trustworthy, right? Like they knew I wasn't gonna be like, so they could show me like a tin lighter that they wouldn't show. Because back in the day, nobody showed anybody.
Nobody.
Nobody.
No
It was
fucking
like
way.
nobody.
It was taboo.
And so they would start showing me. And then not only would they show me, but they'd be like, hey, there's a warehouse coming available across the street. Like throwing that hint out. And then I remember the first time I was like, what if I buy the equipment? And so I just got lucky because.
So this was 94. How old were you at that time?
Like right at 19, 20.
Oh, fuck, that was young.
I was
Okay.
young, yeah.
Okay.
I got like 18, 19. Like it was the year after I graduated high school.
All right, let's go back a little bit. Where were you born?
Vallejo.
Vallejo, okay.
Vallejo,
So
yeah.
you were
Crest side, right by Crest side, like north side Vallejo.
What code is that for? Because 415
707, baby. 707. When you hear
707,
707 head, man, that's the Vallejo. Yeah, man. Vallejo always had good weed. It was like ahead. Like when I grew up in like the 80s, you got green weed. It was basically like green bud, which now I realize was probably just outdoor Mendo Humboldt stuff.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But I didn't have indoor until like 92, 93. Literally, like the Chronic came out. It's weird to say that, but the Chronic came out, and then the weed followed. It was like the hydroponic weed was like, to me, I remember listening to the Chronic, and then within like a year, we were smoking that type of weed.
What's the Chronic?
Like the Dr. Dre's, like the
Oh,
Chronic
okay, I
album.
got you.
Like
Okay.
the Chronic album came out, and
Oh, that I got you.
yeah, and then it's like Chronic hit the streets. Like we used to have to go to like little spots in Richmond, or like before I was growing, you'd go to these like little hood spots, and they'd have dime bags of like the best weed. Or if you're from the Bay, the one spot I always talk to my boy about it is Haight Street. Used to go to Haight Street, and dudes would just be walking down Haight Street in like 92 going, buds, shrooms, buds, tabs, buds. And then they would just tap you, and you just tap them like, hey, and you buy an eighth of fire, like that was probably the best weed. And I remember that right when I graduated high school. That's about when like 17, 18, so 92, 93 was like the first indoor that I had. And then, like I said, I got hated out. I was doing music. Being from Vallejo, my production partner, we were doing music in the house, and we got hated out by the neighbors. So we had to go find a warehouse. We didn't have a choice because we wanted to be loud with our music. People were liking it. And during that time, it was like every dope dealer wanted to start a record label. So they would come to our shit and be like, you know, not only did we have dope music, but I also had way better weed than everybody. So it was like a combo thing. When they came to Oakland, it'd be like, and it was really luck because I just moved in next to this dude. And then not only that, but then like a year later, I meet a guy across the street who's even better at growing weed, doesn't know that dude at all, separate completely, and he's got G13 at the time, which is, you know, who knows what the backstory on that was, but it was a clone that circulated Oakland at that time. It was a lime green, not a lot of flavor, but strong, like hash plant for sure. Like, and he was the first one to show me, this dude named Greg Masher was the first one to put me on real weed. The other dude put me on fresh weed, and it was like a Northern Lights, and he knew to grow weed, but he wasn't a connoisseur. And that guy, when I was probably like 22, he was the first one that was like, nah, you know this weed that you're growing with this guy, and it's cool, but this is what real
Good shit is.
And also like how you cure it the best way, how you care for it. He was just into, he loved smoking. So the other guy, the first guy that taught me, smoked a little bit, like a pipe hit, but not like every day, you know, over and over. So that guy was more like us. And so I basically, born in Vallejo, spent a lot of time in Oakland, moved to Oakland for music, and then ran into weed. And after that, it just kept like, then like a year later, the guy that got the shit legalized, Jeff Jones, the Oakland Buyers Club, that's my neighbor like 3 doors down. Ed Rosenthal is like a block and a half that way. So it's like crazy that like, I didn't know Ed at all. But I knew all the other dudes, and they were all cool with me, and they all knew I did music, so they were all like coming over to hang out, and it just put me on like turbo game because I had like 45-year-old dudes that had been growing for so long, like indoor since '82, that like those guys were taking me in like, hey, my son's a musician, can you help my son out? You know, oh, I'll give you the cuts. You need Urkel, you need this, you need whatever. You know, like they would give it to me because they wanted to get favor in the music, and it just went hand in hand. And then I had that weed from them. So if I was working with a rapper and they came up, I had some shit that like nobody had seen. Those dudes would come in and see pounds of that and be like, you know, and it was just that effect. I think the best thing is right place, right time, man.
What did you do before you did the music? You know, let's go farther back. What do you?
Oh man, work
jobs?
like straight construction. Started out like contract, like for pops. You know, my dad was a contractor.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So
okay, so you were on the construction.
Yeah,
that's kind of carried into the growing later on.
Oh, it did. 100%. It had. My dad was a foundation contractor primarily, but I knew how to frame up, you know, forms, and you know, like I tied more rebar as a kid than most people will ever see in their life.
Oh, so we're deep construction.
Yeah, so I
on your knees on the ground. All right.
Oh, brother, shoveling. My dad, foundation contract, they would dig pier holes. And the worst job when you dig a pier hole is clearing the dirt.
Right.
And that was my job. You know what I mean? So like
that's where you had to start when you don't know anything.
You don't know nothing. Then I learned how to drive a Bobcat. Then I learned how to, you know, like it just went on. But I got lucky I always loved music. And I had been like DJing since I was young. And I just, you know, I got in the right place at the right time, was willing to work hard. And then the opportunities just kept coming, like one after the other. And then I would be in the right place. I'd meet this person, and then like, you know, I have like I don't, you know, I never talk about, but like primarily like I have 3 Grammy wins, 1 full Grammy, and I don't even know how many like.
Really?
Yeah, my Grammys for Love of My Life with Erykah Badu and Common Sense. Yeah, I wrote that and produced that with Raphael Sadiq.
And see, if I would have known that, if it wasn't an impromptu podcast, because you would have filled the questionnaire and I would have gone about it.
I'm a slacker. No, I mean, but I don't. It's like a different life. And when I tell people, you know, I did this record, you know, Beyonce, Snoop, I have a Grammy with her. I have like,
really?
I got lucky, man. I got around good people. It's just like with weed, you get a good team, and you could take the world over if you got a good team, right? You know
Crazy. I fucking never knew.
And yeah.
1 second. Oh my God, I was freaking sweating. It's hot in here. I told him to turn the AC down to 69. Sorry about that. Yeah,
We
fucking-
just let the AC guy leave.
Yeah. Hey, do me a favor here. Open that up. Yeah. Oh, almost. All right, we're back in action. Did you do everything you need to do here? Cool. Yeah, go ahead and shut the front door because, like I said, we started early, impromptu, but we'll get to it. But dude, that is super fucking interesting because I've never known that. I've known you, like I said, for a decade. But it's like then again, it's nothing that you go out there and start telling, you know.
It doesn't. Yeah, and
Unless it comes up in conversation, kind of
yeah,
like that.
yeah, and like also like it's also like a weird, like you know, people trying to tell you what they did. I just always feel like like I said, I got lucky with a really good group of people, and just like in like Green Dragon, I got lucky to get like an amazing business partner, a dude that's like rock solid, and I've been in the business so long before that, and been around so many thieving, lying, you know the deal, just conniving,
motherfuckers,
dirtbag,
dirtballs,
you know,
yes.
just like,
When
and
you
then
do
like
it
you
this
meet
long
a
enough, you
you meet a
see
dude that
them.
like counts you straight and makes sure you're good no matter what, and takes the L to make sure that you're online. I'm like, that's the type of dude I want to be in business with. I
Kinda-
saw how he treated other people. You know what I mean? Like when a guy would be like, "You didn't pay me," and we both saw the dude pay him, and he'd still pay the dude again. You know what I mean? And be like, "Hey, but I'm never doing business with him, but I'm gonna pay."
That's
him out."
funny because I say that all the time. I'd rather take the L and then pay somebody, even though I know that so nobody can say fucking shit about me.
Shit, that's right, man.
100%.
That's how we do it the same
kinda
way.
that's
And then
I'd
that way,
rather-
it's like if people do call you a dirtbag or something, you're like, "Hey, you know, I went above and beyond." You know what I mean?
And like I tell, what's that my cliche that I say? You know what? If you meet somebody's gonna tell you I'm the best, nicest person they ever met in their life, and then if you meet somebody else, they're gonna tell you, fuck that asshole. You know, believe them both because they both got treated the way that they deserve to be treated. The way
That's
they
right.
treated me.
And all people aren't one thing, right?
Nope.
That's like I remember that I was watching some shit like a music thing, and we were doing this rehearsal, and it was like back when James Brown was alive, and somebody said like, "Oh man, this guy's such a piece of shit," and the manager looked over and said, "Hey, he's what proves you can be a complete asshole and a fucking genius at the same time." And I was like, "Ain't that some
Ain't
shit?"
that fucking
Right?
some shit, yes.
Nobody's one thing.
So when you were doing the music industry, okay, did you smoke? You obviously.
Oh fuck, man! I was growing the whole time.
Okay.
I had my so that's what happens. Like, I moved in. I kept doing music. I started investing money in growth and growing, and it just both things did good. You know, like both things. I waited until 07, 08 to move anything to LA because I thought LA was get busted city. It was still like people down there were still growing in houses only. I didn't know many warehouse grows, but I knew that like I knew the logistics of faking a warehouse grow, and I had these like I'd already done a lot in music, so I knew I could put a fucking music studio in the front of it, and no one was gonna ask.
Okay.
You get me?
Yeah,
So like,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I even had I had situations where cops came to it and
Even if they smell
looked
weed,
around
it's
the
like just
outside,
music dudes.
and they called me and like, "Hey, what goes on in here?" And I'm like, "A music studio," and the dude's like, "Oh, that makes sense," and rolled out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They
Like,
go hand in hand.
it went hand in hand.
Hand in
And-
hand, yes.
But that whole time, I had, like, I have a friend that still grows with me, Danny Romero, and I met him when I was mixing a song, like in 1998, because like one of my oldest LA friends, and that guy has seen. He works with me right now. He's there working today. He has seen the whole progression. He's seen from when I used to bring weed down, and he smoked all my weed that I would bring down and sell music people, to then like when the Yellow House, which was the first dispensary in all LA, it's on La Brea. It's really in West Hollywood, but it was right on the corner of like La Brea and damn near Melrose. And dude, it was like, just imagine one dispensary in LA, right? Imagine how busy that is. That's some like, 1,000 people every 6 hours or some shit, like crazy numbers. And I took this strain I was growing at the time down there, and I sold this guy 5 or 6 pounds of it. And I told my buddy who works with me, I'm like, "Hey, I sold weed to the stop." I'm thinking it's cool. He goes in like 2 days later, and he's like, "Yo, your shit is on the top of the board." Like the very top. And it's dope that I still have people around that I'm like, "Yo, this dude can tell people the story," because he called me and told me, "Hey, your shit's #1 on this thing." And so like, if I want a cannabis cup, or if some strain pops off big, it still doesn't almost feel like that, because that was like legit as fuck. Even like we talk about selling the weed, that guy that I sold the weed to, the guy that was the manager, I bring in these packs and he's like, "Oh, it smells great." And he's like, "Hold on." And he takes a nug and he goes in the back and you just hear the bong like, and then he's back and he's like, "Ooh, I'll take it all." You know what I mean? And that is when you know, like, I did a good job. And but yeah, I've had some of these guys that have been, you know, he was there when I won the Grammy. This dude was he's an engineer, so he wouldn't have even gone to the Grammys. Was in New York in 2001. They brought it back because of the tragedy, September 11th. They wanted to like revitalize New York. So the first time in 30 years, maybe it was 03. They brought 2002. They brought the Grammys back there, and so me and the same dude. He's his girl at the time was like an assistant for Vince Vaughn or something. We win this Grammy. I go backstage. He's standing backstage. So the same dude that I could tell you that like fucking bought the weed from the dispensary was fucking in New York when I won the fucking Grammy. Like, and we had that same weed in New York. I mean, and let me tell you something. In '02, to have the type of pressure I had and be in New York, people were chasing the limo going, Cali, Cali, Cali. I'm not even bullshitting. Like, and it's funny because we realized it when we were talking about it not too long ago, that the after party was a fucking puffy party. Oh. Yeah, it was at a bank, but it was a puffy party. It was a P. Diddy party.
So you've been at a Diddy party.
I have, but I was sitting next to Joe Frazier. So that's what, I remember I was sitting, we were at this table, and Joe Frazier was next to me, and I remember thinking, like, my dad would be tripping out, you know, because my dad loved Frazier, like, and this dude's just sitting there fucking giant-ass hands next to me, chilling out. You know, it was cool, but weed was there the whole time. Weed, I probably got the Grammy and a lot of that music because weed made that whole scenario with my partners and my people that I worked with at the time. Like, we would smoke the weed I'd grow, and we were writing dope-ass songs. And as much as it might sound a little like hippie-ish or whatever, I kind of thought, like, we chose the weed that gave you that effect. You know what I mean? Right. And, like, people resonated with it, whether it was, like, Snoop or... I think... I'll tell you this. At L.A. at that time, if you wanted good weed in L.A. at 1998 to 2002, the best place to buy it was a music studio. They had the real shit. And I definitely had the only other crew that I will give fucking this, and the same guy, Danny Romero, that I'm telling you was my engineer, will tell you the same thing. The only other dudes that had real pressure in all of LA that were music, Cypress Hill. It was that. They had the real shit. Yeah, they had, Kenji and those guys had the real shit.
Josh D.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the real OG. Mm-hmm.
I posted that the other day. A Josh D thing on our shit, which was a message from him in like 2015 to us going, I'm hella happy to be working with, because we hunted the Josh D OG and gave him like the cuts back. And when we did that, he was like, I've been working with you guys for years and blah, blah, this shit. And it was funny because I hadn't been working with him. My business partner, Manny, had been buying pounds from him and didn't know Josh D was Josh D. He just knew it was a dude that always had good OG that would bring the OG in and he'd buy the OG.
Did I ever tell you the story how I put Josh D together with Marty Calabrese,
the TK, yeah,
TK guy?
Yeah.
And that was me that I put that, you know, it was like...
I remember.
I heard always the stories about OG, but it was always 1996, okay? And then one time I was taking my kid to college from South Florida to Gainesville, and I started listening to the Adam Dunn show. Yeah. You know, the Josh D story. And I was listening to it, but I was also talking to my son. And I missed some parts of that episode podcast because I was conversating with my kid. So one day I went, you know, I was home and I was going to go a bike ride, and I put the headphones on and I was listening to this podcast. And then I listened to the whole thing, and then I learned that it was Josh D that was talking to that other guy. What's his name? Bubba.
Matt Bubba or whatever.
Matt Bubba. Okay, he was from Florida, and he kept telling him for years that he knew about this weed that was great. And then Josh, he says, fucking whatever, you know, finally tell him to bring it. And then they either both went or Matt Bubba
somehow it made it back.
Went back there and grabbed it. But in the podcast, one date that hit me was 1991. 1991. That strain was around since 1991. Well, in our circle back then, when we grew with the surfers, you know, we had massive amount of grow houses, and these guys that we looked up to, we were young jet surfers. These guys that were older surfers, drug dealers, you know, we looked up to them. Yeah. So this one guy was the one that took Marty to grow in this space, and they seeded out the harvest. Okay, that harvest was the one that where the OG and the TK came from. So anyway, I was listening to the podcast. You know, the other, that's another story for another day, another podcast. But I put those two together, and they went back by dates and people to the fucking bag.
And I believe it because Josh did the same thing with a bunch of people I know about where he would give the cuts at on Cahuenga. He would sell these cuts, and fools were like, I got it from this from this parking lot from a dude, and it was like that was legit. That was the
Exactly.
story.
You connect the
You
story.
can connect the yeah.
And I have assumed that Chem 91, because of the same date, has some, because a lot of those pounds went out of state, and I'm sure it went through all the deadhead
Well, and you know the very what's they call it?
Variegation.
Variegation. Yeah.
Variegation.
The
They all three have
variegation
it.
it's those two.
It's
They
in the
share
genetics,
it. They
right?
share it,
1991. But we can't prove that one. But I was able to put these two guys together and talk about dates and persons. And then I was actually on the Adam Dunn show later on.
Yeah.
And this guy Alex, who was the connection between the Gainesville crew and the surfers from Orlando area.
Yeah.
The Marty and those guys, and able to put that together. But so that was interesting.
Oh, I heard about it
from
from years. I remember people talking about it. For anybody that had been in Florida, would say that OG had been in Florida. Like undecidedly,
So
people
the
would
TK
always
is pretty much
tell
a
that.
sister of the OG because
Right.
they were from the same seeded pack. But these guys popped this seed here, and those guys popped this seed there.
Yeah, and they've been like a lot of guys that work with those cuts, like CSI Humble. I don't know if you're familiar with his, but I think one of the baddest breeders in the game, Inspecta, or that guy's. He talks about how like when he works the TK, it's almost like there's more in there than there is the OG. It's almost like he can get more out of it. Like it seems to be more of a source or more of from the parents or have more things in it. But yeah, I mean, that plant was the original Coca-Cola of our industry.
Yes, it was.
I mean, straight up. There's never been a wave like I mean, candies now, yeah, they're big, and because we have this like infrastructure, maybe we're making more of it now. But as far as like LA from 2008 to 2016, good luck selling anything but OG.
OG was.
I loved it, but it also narrowed down the gene pool. A lot of people that would just grow this or grow that, they eventually had to give up growing it. Like, we used to buy all of our Blue Dream from a dude named Blue Dream Doug. And you didn't grow Blue Dream because Blue Dream Doug just showed up with some pretty good Blue Dream at a good price. You know what I mean? So you're like, fuck it, I'm going to buy. And then I remember the day that Blue Dream Doug bought the OG, and his OG was horrible.
Really?
Because, you can't, like, growing Blue Dream's easy. Growing OG is a little bit more difficult.
Challenging, yes.
And so we were like, dude, go back to it. He's like, only you dispensaries want to buy the Blue Dream now, right? Nobody else wants to buy that shit. So it even something that was like a commercial sativa like that, it narrowed down the gene pool again.
Yeah.
Like, and got it back down, which kind of sucked because I remember what was around before that. It was like everybody had their own thing.
Right.
Like, it wasn't a lot of, I think maybe Urkel was the first time I saw everybody grow one thing. For a while. And that was like this, like how you're into color now.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's the same shit. Like Oakland, you couldn't sell a fucking pack of Urkel if it wasn't
Was
purple.
Granddaddy purple or
Urkel first. Urkel
first?
yeah, because Urkel, Granddaddy is across, the lineage on it is supposed to be Salmon Creek Big Bud to Urkel. I don't know about the Big Bud side, but it's definitely watered down Urkel.
Okay.
Like, because Urkel was the real smaller hash plant, turned more purple. GDP, you had to work to get it purple. It had that LCG shit going on where
Right.
it's a purple, but
right.
And so the trick they used to use back in Oakland is they just wouldn't trim it that tight, and then the leaves would roll up and it'd be purple.
Oh, I guess
It was like a little bit of a trick,
Yeah, everything seems to be candy now, and it's got to be freaking like the right tint, not too dark. It's got to be frosty.
Right
Candy
structure.
camouflage, yes, structure's got to be
Podular,
spongy,
real
yeah,
podular.
exactly,
They want
pods.
it. They want it looking like. I mean, if that's what you're choosing shit for, I mean, if you're going for structure, that's why like I'm a big fan of like Seed Junkie too, because I think JB does a great job at structure and actual smoke. I get high off of that shit, like as opposed to some of the candies that they taste good, but I can cartoon smoke. I can smoke a pound of it. I won't get high.
Yeah, you smoke all the time though.
Yeah, I do. I smoke a lot, but that I think that leads to people tell me like I don't know if that's better because like if you made whiskey, would you just want to be a drunk all day? I'm like I don't know, but I'll tell you this much: for smoking, I think it gives me a benefit because I'm able to I know what's good. I don't have to have somebody tell me.
I think I got another first here. I think it's the first time that I've ever smoked before a podcast. What do you think, Josh? Yeah, I smoked
that.
towards the middle of the end, but it's the first time that I smoked from the beginning. So I was wondering where this was going to go. I wonder if that's why I was sweating so much.
Ah, shit, man.
I was freaking stressing out.
But yeah, I think that I don't know, man. I love it, and I love it when people come up with like better shit, new shit that I want to try, and like I don't know, I love the plant.
Well, you're one of the fucking guys that brings it to the table. We're gonna get there, but by the way, guys, this impromptu podcast was because this guy right here, this G, was the one that popped the seed of toad venom frog poison.
Yeah.
And so stay tuned because we're gonna get there. You know, just a little teaser,
Yeah.
giving you a little bit. What's up, guys? It's Mango here, and we're in the center of the Mango Tech showroom. When you say Trollmaster, you think controllers. When you say Thinker LED, you think lighting. I'm here to tell you that Trollmaster and Thinker are a whole cultivation system. Today, we're going to touch on ICL 300s and the Aero fans. There is no better combination in the market. ICL 300s are an inner canopy light that you set inside the canopy, and no, they're not 300 watts like some people may think. They're still 120 watts, but the 300 comes because they shine in 300 degrees. The ICL 150 that's up and coming here shortly shines at 150 degrees because of its reverse V or A-frame style fixture. The 120 that's coming out is just like all the other regular ICLs or under canopy lights in the market. The ICL 300 and the ICL 150 are 4-spectrum tunable channel lights. That means you can play with each spectrum up and down to figure out what your strain likes best. All right, behind me, you see a single tier and a double tier. On the single tier, we have the ICL 300s on some PVC stands and some Thinker LED stands that bring the inner canopy light into the canopy, so the whole canopy gets lit up adaxially and abaxially, not just like an under canopy light abaxially. All right, let's focus on the ICL 300 and the ICL 150. These are the Formula One, the Bugatti, the Ferrari of all inner canopy lights. Nothing comes even close to what these pair can do. Why? Because they're 4-channel spectrum tunable lights. You can tune your whites, your deep reds, your far reds, and your UV to a recipe that suits your plants. You guys remember at the beginning when I said that Trollmaster and Thinker LED are a cultivation system, not just a lighting and controller company. And this is exactly what I was talking about. The ICLs are now set on a unistrut rail system that you'll never have to waste any time putting and taking off any stands. The rail will also double as a mount for your new Trollmaster Aero fans to deliver freshly climate-controlled CO2-enriched air into your canopy. Nothing else comes close. Check it out. If you're interested in this system, hit the link below, www.mangotech.store. We got you. From A to Z, one-stop shop. Let's go. Let's go back before we get to the frog poisons. I know everybody wants to see that. Or the toad venom frog poison. Yeah. By the way, real name was Becky, and we'll get into that, why he named it Becky. That was a cool story.
Yeah. Hey,
when you started, when you went to LA, you know, because we're going to get your full story. When you went down to LA and then you set up shop, you were one of the first 100 shops. you know, were you already operating?
Look, that's not. Okay, I can't take credit for that part because that was my business partner Manny. Okay. He's literally the one. I did not have in 2007. My cojones were not big enough to put an address on the front with my name where someone could come, like, you know, arrest me. Manny was that guy. Manny was that guy. Shout out to Manny. Shout out to Manny, Green Dragon. Manny. No, Manny's the hey, look. He's the other G. He's the real G. He's the one that had the cojones. Yeah. Okay. You'll hear me whenever I say anything in this interview when it comes to like Green Dragon, it is a we. Because even when we talk about popping clones or bringing stuff in, when you got as many people, you got this thing going. You got a team, man. And that team that you do with it takes the whole team. You know what's my saying? If this company succeeds, it's because of the team. Yep. If this company fails, it's because of me. Because I either hired wrong people, made the wrong choices, let me get talked into whatever. Ultimately, you're the head of the snake, and it falls on you. Look, but I'm blessed that I have a great team. And kudos to the fucking team. And that's right. And the coaching is bringing in people that you need, knowing where you need. Being able to encourage those people to do better. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just because there's many people that I've hired that were better at me at what they do, but they didn't maybe have like a team or like everybody standing behind them or a coach to make sure that to keep their confidence going to push that shit forward. And I think like that's what I've been fortunate is that like especially with weed, I wouldn't still be in it if I didn't have like a lot of the great people that worked for me for 10 plus years, grinding like day in, day out. And even some of the guys that aren't there that put in a hell of a lot of work in the beginning, that's all like, I value the hell out of that, man. Cause I realized like when I was in music, when I was first starting, I got like the opportunity, and they sent me out to like New York to fix this problem. And I'm in there with like my favorite mix engineer, this guy that was like an idol to me. And I get there and I'm like, I can do this. I'm trying to convince him I can do this. And he stopped me and he was like, the dude you work for, which was Raphael Sadiq, he said, that dude is a sick judge of talent. He said, if you're here, you deserve to be here. You don't need to tell me anything. And I remember I thought, like, I want to bring that to weed. Like, I want to, when someone works for me and they know that I brought them in, they know I brought a hitter. Because, yeah, I do it. So when I'm bringing someone in, I want someone that brings a level to it that's above or more than what I know. You know, does that mean that they have a better palate, or they know they might not even smoke the amount of weed I smoke in whatever situation this is? But it does. I'm a firm believer that if you smoke what you're using and you get a team that smokes what they're using and everybody has pride in it, that they'll actually produce a better product. You know, they'll
smoking
care.
it.
Yeah, they'll care about it, man.
They want to be proud of it.
Yeah, and so I don't know, man. I think you know, we definitely, like, as my team goes, Manny is like the rock solid backbone of the whole shit, because he keeps it to where I'm probably like too upset and would fly off the handle at people, and maybe a little like, I grew up son of a contractor. I don't think anything's happening if you're not yelling. You know what I mean? Like, I always tell Manny, like,
oh my
nothing
God,
gets done with saying it nice, right?
Yeah.
But that dude can say it nice, make people feel that he's on their team, and actually be a genuine dude. So like, if you don't have that balance, and that's why I've been lucky. Like, even in music, I had a dude that was 10 years older, that had like experience, was able to guide me through, you know, a little bit, like, and help
sick.
me to what I was doing, and it benefited him, just like, you know, like I think even though Manny's
It's
younger
a great
than me,
partnership when it benefits both people.
Yeah.
If it benefits one way, it doesn't work. It's
Yeah.
good when there's a balance. You know what I'm saying?
and you need temperament in business. You need temperament. You need the ability to look at things and not take it so emotionally for your final decision. Just needs to be what it is. And yeah, we as a team, you know, we've had that. We've had like the guy that. How about this? This is how crazy it is. The guy that manages our retail. He used to be a bud tender at a shop that I used to sell weed to in 2002. So like, even the fucking people that are dispensing the weed, that are like our buyer, because this is weird, but even though we only sell our own weed in the store, this guy, Art, he fucking smokes every batch, grades the batch, writes a review on the batch. I'm not bullshitting you. This is factual. Writes a review on it and tells us it's a 6 out of 10. You know what it feels like when you fucking think you hit a home run and this motherfucker's going, it's
I like
a
it.
7.5.
He's the ball buster. He's the one
Yeah.
that's tell you how it is.
The
But you know,
smell's wrong. This isn't right. I don't know. This doesn't even feel like the last one. But that's a key part of the team.
I got a
dude.
friend like that. Yeah, he's a ball buster. That's
Well,
good.
and you know what he does? He goes into the pack room and burps the packs, leaves them open. You guys are closed. He does. See, I like people that care, man. Like, if you care, you know, it's just like our Cat City. The guys that started out in Cat City with us in our Cathedral City grow, it's like 70% of the people were there from day one, 2017, 18.
Wow.
Like they've just
retainage.
been locking. And it's so dope
That
because
says a lot about the company and the personalities that are running the company.
we've had different people come and go, and different managers go out there. And at the end of the day, we were like, the dude that was the co-manager all that time was the best for the job. The minute he took over, like when it was his reigns, he hit 3 months that they never hit in a row. The numbers that they hit in those 3 months, his next 90 days, smashed. And it wasn't his, it was the team. But the team felt like someone that represented them was running the show.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And that just showed me that, like, believing in these people. They were making a joke the other day, like, "Oh, are you going to buy a lottery ticket when the lottery goes?" And I turned over and I was like, "Dude, I bet on you.
Every
Like,
day.
my day is betting on you. I know you're going to do it." And that shit is like what feeds me and what keeps me going, because I realize when you got 100 people working for you, or 50 people, or 20 people, they don't eat if you don't do your job. And so, like, I'm responsible for. I mean, I don't get anxiety about it, but shit, I'm like, how many families don't actually going to put food on the table if I stop tomorrow? So it's not really an option. It goes beyond just that. You got responsibilities to the people that have held you up.
How many lights today?
2,000, right about.
2,000.
Yeah, it's been up and down. Yeah, it's been up and down. We were we had one more grow that it just wasn't upgraded, and we were on a generator before the power came, and we let that one go. That was another like 6 or 7. But just when you live on a generator,
It's rough.
it's rough, dude.
It's rough.
It's rough,
Yeah.
and it's
Fuck.
quality of life is. At one point, we had like all of our spots on. It was
Really?
yeah. It's
All
been
generators?
yeah 2 of them
Okay.
generators. Yeah, 2 of them. But you know, you're talking megawatt installations. You know, like yeah, and I've had great people like I've had people that worked for me in that process that like were growers, but also like more like maybe like you and me, where they when the generator stopped, they figured out how to turn it on.
Yes.
Then I have fools that know how to pheno hunt and do this shit, but they don't know how to turn a light switch on.
That's fucking funny. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Everybody's
Like
got their own specialty.
that's right, and that's why if any one person takes credit in a situation like this, it's just off point. Because
No.
it's like, dude, if the AC guy doesn't show up, you ain't growing shit.
Shit.
So like,
Yeah, I
what?
agree,
And I'm in
agree.
the, I'm in. It gets hot out here, but I'm in fucking Palm Springs. It gets 130s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and on the top of that roof, it's like 160, 170 on the top of your AC
Yeah, the
unit.
tall,
It's,
yes.
it's insane.
It's fucking hot.
So you know, it's literally like from your AC guy to your electrician to your hydro provider who's going to have your shit on time, right? You know, they don't have something, you're delayed, you're not planning. How much does that cost you?
People don't understand what kind of orchestra, what it takes.
Dude.
And you were there today too. You know what I mean?
Oh, I saw it. Your shit was running like a fine tune. You had harvesting, cleanups going up, fucking. You had the whole, you know, every circle.
But you know, just like any other place, but you know, it runs properly. You know, they care, and you know, it's got to run. And then, like I said, I'm blessed that I have a great team. Just
Oh,
like
you
you
do.
said, our retainage is now people that have been working for us been working for the last 2 years. So, and we're fairly new.
And you're a hustler, man. And I think anybody that like when you work for somebody, you want to see them. Like I drive up to Sac and I'll do business today and I'll drive back tonight. And I woke up at 6 to come here and I'll go back, and I'm 50, and I still want to do it. And all the people that I'm competing against, they don't even hustle like that. Because I used to do this to sell packs. I used to be in Oakland. I used to fucking come from Oakland, drive to LA one night, turn around, drive back, turn around, drive back. I
Chasing
would
that
make
money.
3 or 4, and I would just switch cars so these license plate readers didn't get wise.
Yeah,
But I would make 3, 4 fucking runs, allegedly,
Right.
back down to LA and just bang it out. And so now when I got the opportunity, like when I have what I've been fortunate enough to get in this position, I'm like, I'm not going to stop working. You're crazy. Like,
No.
what do you mean? Like, I want to turn it up.
You're used to it already.
And I want
And
to,
you can do it now legally.
yep. And I
you
want to,
can play with it.
and the only thing is holding me back is like my want to go out there and do it. So if I feel like the game, and you know, like we're going to touch on some other stuff later, but if the game is to be, you know, lost or won, it's not going to be won by some dude that doesn't come to work on the weekends.
Correct.
Like, because you're not going to beat me. That's how it was in music. We would just stay after it. Like, people would go out, and I clearly remember when we were writing hit songs, people going, I'm going to the Mondrian tonight to the Sky Bar, and I'm going to go party. And we stayed in there and wrote. And then what happened? Because over time, you keep digging that gold, eventually you're going to get a big nugget. And so sometimes it's just, I think it's like, it's a team and hard work. And if everybody stays with that, it's going to work out. That's, you know,
Definitely agree with that. So then your partner,
yeah.
he invited you. He's the one that put his name on the license.
Yeah, we rocked for about a year and a half, like where I was bringing weed and selling to him. And then really what happened was concentrates. What happened was I was always bringing wax and different things down because I had been processing really early on.
Yep. You were, yeah.
And so
You're very
I-
knowledgeable on
I
that
bought
fucking
I
subject.
bought the machine, and I bought my Bogart out of a Home Depot parking lot in San Jose. Number 2, as I was told, before there was any, right from Tom
Okay.
in his truck. And I started rocking that out, and I think my business partner was like, holy, he had been processing, and this is an inside joke that I'm not even going to throw out, but he'd been processing with other people, and he was growing fire ass OG. I mean, like, I would see his OG, and it was so much better than like mine or anybody else's. I was like, yo, and so he's like, I go, how much you get back for a pound of like trim? He's like, we get 28 grams, and I split it, and I'm like, off of your weed? And he's like, yeah, my weed. I get 28 grams and I split it. And I remember I was like, let me process some pounds. And I processed them back, and I brought him like, out of 1 pound, I brought him 104 grams.
Wow.
Or 94 grams of fire. And I put it on the table, and he was like, oh, that's all the weed I gave you? I go, no, that's 1 pound. Because we were doing like a split. And he was like, what? And that just like, it opened up our relationship to be able to be like, he realized like, I'm an honest, square shooting dude. Like, I'm going to tell you what we made. And then he was like, I can't believe I'm getting done by these other
I'm
guys
getting
so
fucking
bad.
hosed. That's extraction to you too.
Yeah,
'Cause there's
you
no
get-
fucking way.
There's no way.
You
So
gotta take their word for it.
yeah, but you don't, because at the end of the day, when you do it like us, I have statistical shit. When someone gives me back a low yield, I don't even talk about it. I know. I've ran it thousands of times, not once. I know. It's just like I do.
But that's you because you're an expert in that field too. You're jack of all motherfucking trades and a master of a bunch of them.
But
too.
what it is remember, you just couldn't get anybody else to do it.
I know.
That's
I
the
know.
problem. It's not
Remember,
about
I
being a
fucking
master.
had a Bogart machine too.
Too, you too.
I
That's-
bought the first fucking 16 cubic foot oven.
Hey,
from
you can tell.
International.
Hey, we could talk about it now. I know you better, or at least partially through that.
Through that shit, through that whole fucking nightmare. Oh my
Through
god.
that shit. So that, but that's that's fucking, that's what this shit is, man. It's like,
And I think I touched on this at the beginning. I've known G. I don't know if I said his name by accident. I'm not supposed to.
whatever.
G. But almost about 10 years, almost a decade, and it goes back to butane days and all that kind of shit.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then since then, you actually had a company for a while that Permacool, right?
Yep,
Which
yep.
you built also.
Well, you know what? We needed a chiller. You
Yes.
had it. There was nothing that chilled it. We had like fish tank fucking coolers and dropping ice into huge things. And I had like allegedly, like a place where we were taking like 250-pound bags a day for cooling. So at a certain point, I got all this gross shit. My fucking AC dude is like the homie. So I'm like, hey, if I pay you to come over here and I put this, as I thought about it, and I was like, if we hook this up, can we do this? And he came over, looked at it, said, yeah, we'll add this, do this. And then before you knew it,
You got an extraction
I'm recovering, like, I'm getting like 2 pounds a minute, recovery, 1.5 pounds a minute, where before, I was feeding that shit so much ice to get that. And so, like, I developed that, and David from Bogart came and saw it on the wall and was like, you broke the code.
Oh.
And was like,
Our
dude, we
friend
need to
David.
sell this.
And Tom,
Yeah,
both of them went.
both of them. David was like, hey,
Get the fuck out of here.
he was like, we need to sell this. And so we came up really with this shit called like Ice Tech is what it was originally. And it was like it was just a janky, like literally a multi-stage, heat exchanger. And anyway, it worked. And I had a guy come up to me. I was at MJ Biz with Bogart. And a dude came up to me and said, could you chill like this amount of butane and of ethanol in this amount of time? And I was like, of course, it's just horsepower. Like someone telling you, how can you get a car that fast? You're like, if you put 1,100 horsepower in it, yeah, you know what I mean? It might cost a little bit. Dude was like, the farm bill had just passed, and he was like, put a number on it. So we put a number on it. We accomplished that shit in like 2 or 3 weeks. That dude, and this is how life works, that dude called Delta Separations, Busy Bee, like every major person in the game, and said, come watch this thing work. So it's in Palm Desert. They got it all hooked up. I show up. All these dudes, they've flown in to watch this thing work, right? Because it's breaking the code for people. And, dude, I turn it on, and the motherfucker won't work.
You told me this story before.
And I've never been so embarrassed or deflated. I sat there for 2 hours. Me and the AC guy, we couldn't figure this shit out. We were trying everything, bro. It was like, and these dudes are like, how when people, it's like if you have bad weed or something, and they're like, oh, I'm good right now. Like they were all like, oh, all right, we'll see you later, right? And so
I remember this story.
I was so
vaguely,
fucked
yes.
up by that, man. I went home that night. I told my wife on the way home, like, I just got fucking pimp slapped. Like, this hurts. I went back. I didn't stop for a week. We stayed over there, figured out exactly what fucked up, made it rerun, videotaped it rerunning, and then Delta Separations called me and said, I want to buy like a chiller or two. And okay, cool, we'll sell it to you. And then the dude said, if it works, I need like 60. And that's when, and what had happened is these dudes had gone to MJ Biz, sold everybody a chiller they didn't have.
Oh.
And then everybody's like, yo, I gave you the deposit. Where's my chiller? It was good business, but it also kind of sucked because every customer I got was pissed because they've been waiting like 9 months. So they were like, when are you going to come put it in?
Yeah, but at least you delivered.
Oh,
my
dude,
God.
yeah. So it was a fun ride, and like really more through hemp. I do miss extraction a lot. Like, like I see your plans, and I'm like, yeah, like, I do miss it. And
like I said, we were talking about it. I took some of your, I was mentioning to you,
Yeah.
I took some of your advices that you said about, you know, the -32 freezer opening into another refrigerator so it doesn't dump.
I got
and
to
then all this other shit that you were telling me.
Oh,
that
dude,
wanna
I got to
discuss.
meet some great people during that experience because that farm bill had like some like people that were brought in from real industries, right, to do this. So you got to meet like just yeah, there's some great consultants like out there that would just even talk. You know, I was like, oh shit, if I'm distracted again, I'm doing it that way.
Yes.
But yeah, I had that and then sold that. We sold that business just because it started to get so busy that I had to figure out whether I was going to do Green Dragon or that.
Really?
Yeah, oh man, we had Germany
Really?
installs all around the world, man.
Oh,
Like
sick.
Delta was
got pretty big.
yeah. We had like 10, 12 people full time. You know, like not giant like a business, but a payroll. You know, a pretty chunky payroll.
So I'm assuming then Dave bought you out, or you sold
Yeah,
out?
we had another third party that came
Okay,
in
I
and
got
took it
you.
over, and he decided to go on. And I felt like I said, for us, the industry, it was like the farm bill happened, and then COVID hit, and then you know what COVID did for all of our businesses. So it just rocketed. It was like, I better jump back on this make sure I'm focused on this rocket ship because. Green Dragon was thinking we were going to have like 15 shops and, all that. And I bought a few of them, extra ones that didn't pan out. And that was a lesson too. But also just made you see that like, you got to choose. Like, that's what's beautiful about your thing. I see you like, you got the house here, the family, you moved out, you put the grow, you've got like it's like a community thing that you worked out to be your own thing. When you get and you did this because you weren't here all the time before. When you do that cross country or that 5 hours all the time, it just kind of takes the quality out of your life too. You got to
100%.
be careful, like
100%. I mean, it's like you miss your family because you're not there, but then when you're with your family, you're like, fuck, I can't set roots somewhere, and really get going, somewhere.
That's why we always kept like, even in Palm Springs, we always like kept a place out there because we felt like if we can't just go out there and stay and watch things for days on time, like it just
You're not gonna learn it. You're not gonna learn it. You're like me. I gotta feel like I gotta do the job once. I gotta be with the guys. Figure out, see what's the shortest, most efficient way. Maybe get have a discussion with whoever else is in charge, and they can tell you, no, this is the better way to do it. And
you know what? That's the thing. It's like my guys have never had a facility like yours. Like where everything works, it's designed right. I'm telling you for real. I mean, all these guys, they work with like what I give them, and that's why I'm saying it's like we're always trying to improve, but you know how this is. It's like I walked your place a couple years ago. You're like, I just redid this room. I'm like, God, like how?
Well, we're a testing facility, so and then that's a good thing and a bad thing too, And like I said, I eat a lot of crow feathers at my place. I was telling you earlier today, I've eaten a lot of crow feathers. I'm the guy that I'm set in this way, and then. My guys will tell me, this is better. And then, they got to show me. And sometimes I'll make the fucking test 2-3 times. And they're like, motherfucker, we've shown you 2 times. What do you think, we're lying to you? I go, I just want to make sure it's not a fluke, whatever it is. And I'm old school. I just want to see it and believe it. And then I'll be like I told you, we've changed to a couple of things. So I'm the biggest pom-pom. And I'll eat fucking crow feathers. I'll put salt and pepper on them. Because at the end of the day, I win. It's either, okay, you proved me wrong and we got
Absolutely.
better. Or I won and we're still doing the same thing. So it doesn't matter. Either way, I win.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
That part of it is 100%. It's like learning. You got to be open. When I was younger, I would have I would get into even in music like technical battle. You could do it this way, you do that way, and you're like, at the end of the day, just like be open to learning. Because like if you can keep your mind open, and even me, like I shit, man, I can tell you, I'm learning from like all the time. People will tell me, under canopy was a big one. People were telling me for a while, and I'm like, and they're telling me these numbers, and I'm like, like, get out of here.
You've admitted you used to see my page back in the day.
I did. No, you were the first dude, like, I guess inner and under. The very first person in the history of running grows that was really putting it out there that I ever saw. Just like, you got to give, like, was you for that. And, like, I always say, like, if you use Canna panels or you use DPS panels or any of those, you owe that to THC Designs. Those were the first dudes to put that in the game.
Yep.
They brought it in, and they were the ones. And it's like the same thing. I'll tell you for sure, just like Jungle Boys are the first dudes I seen with Dosatrons.
Yep.
I never saw a Dosatron before those dudes. I mean, they fucking absolutely killed it and spread a lot of knowledge. Like, that was always a real dope thing about.
Yeah, I've had that conversation from Chris from Dosatron. He told me how he got to meet, Ivan, and he, developed, with, what was it, MP Cali, that kind of stuff for the dosatron. That's another cool story.
Yeah.
And they're another big hitter, obviously, in the California market. They're one of the original, 100 stores, which
Yeah.
is kind of how long you go back, because you and Ivan back then, you guys were one of the originals.
Yeah, you know what?
Original licenses.
Yeah, that he had an original license, and he was around definitely before that license. You know what I mean? Because that license was owned by like an older, I can't remember the guy's name. I was an older white dude, Toluca Lake Collective, and then they picked it up at some point. But he was around.
Yeah,
they were
I've
killing
watched
it.
his documentary, where his
Yeah.
like little life story, kind of like
That was dope too.
No,
I
it
thought that
was
was
super-
super dope. When I
super
watched
dope.
that, I was like, damn.
super dope. That
like,
was. I wish that homie would go back a little bit more to those documentaries, because Jungle Boy's documentary was fucking dope. The Cookies, story
Yeah.
was fucking dope. He's had a couple in there that are great, and now he's doing a lot of the YouTube style things. But those documentaries
Yeah.
were fucking insane. You know what I'm
Insane.
saying? They were captivating. It was a great captivating, the way he narrated the story, his voice. I kept telling him. He did a good job at it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, just even like I always say that. I was talking earlier
Which, by the way, where's mine at?
right, I was talking, but I was talking about basically documenting.
That's another podcast.
Right, yeah, exactly. documenting like the grows and all that stuff over time, and like, yeah, they did such an impressive job of that for a long time, and they deserved to win because those dudes were doing 100 miles an hour in a 45. They were out there, like I always say, like policing in general is like speeding, right? They can't pull over everybody that speeds, but they catch that motherfucker doing 105, and then everybody slows down.
Yes.
Ivan and those boys were doing 105 with their fingers in the air. And when you saw Chalice, we were there.
Oh, fucking
Oh man,
Chalice.
I was giving.
Chalice was
brother,
fucking great.
I was
dude.
giving dabs away, and they couldn't put the number of people that they put. They were selling $200 boxes.
Impressive things from fucking Chalice was obviously the amount of people, the amount of fucking trapping that was fucking crazy
In
going
that
on.
parking lot.
The whole
Holy
fucking
shit.
place.
They were
I remember
taking-
Cali Plug selling fucking packs, and then he'd run out of packs that he'd go buy other people's packs. Hey, yo, let me fucking buy your packs. Stuff like that. And I'm from Florida. I'm flying out here, but I would always fly out and check out this festival, because I said, oh my God, this is fucking
And
legal.
that festival was still the best. I mean, for
It was-
California, there's nothing like it. Man.
nothing like it. It was
That
crazy.
shit was
It was
amazing.
pretty crazy, yeah.
Yeah, but they revolutionized the branding.
They
And
did.
the-
I
they-
remember the
they-
first time they had their big tent. It was cool.
Dude, it was
beast.
next level, man.
But
Like,
just like you, like I said, I love having you in the podcast, because I believe that you're one of them fucking guys. Dude. I mean, you had 2,000 lights, 1.2700 lights. You've had, you have your own badass cultivation. You're extraction fucking beast. You had a nursery. You were one of the guys that sold 215. You were the guy for fucking clones. You know
We
how
sold
many
a lot,
fucking
man.
people I sent to your spot.
Hey, we sold a lot. We were fortunate enough. Now we changed it. Now we're everybody's mom room. Right now, people just come and grab like 3, and they're like, "I'll make them, don't worry,"
Yeah.
because of the way the law is. But we keep doing it. Like I keep dropping and trying to put new stuff in the nursery, just because like I just feel like that's the move, man. Like that's part of this whole thing. Like I mean, I don't know any other brands that sell the cuts that they sell. Like I haven't met like a people that say, hey, look, this is our number one seller, and we also sell the cut in the cut. You can buy the flower or you can buy the cut.
Oh, you do that?
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. And not only that, but we're I think it might be not for like, it might not be a brilliant move, but we are the only shop that only sells our own flower.
I
Like,
know that.
we
because
don't.
I remember. Listen, we're professionals. There's no hate here, nothing at all, and I understand how it is. But when I started, got my license and I got my packs and and I got my packaging and I called G, say, hey, would you put me in your dispensary? He goes, Alex, we don't sell anybody else's weed. I'm like, okay, that's cool too. Hey, no
That's
problem.
good.
Hey, you know what?
It's not-
Dude, I wish I fucking could say that.
You know what?
That's
It's not.
awesome.
I'll tell you this.
It's awesome.
I don't know that we, like, trying to have 16 to 25 selections on at all times that are fresh is an issue. And if I had more scale, like 15 shops, it'd be a little easier because they'd eat up more. That was always the plan. But running 15 shops and the drama associated with 15 retails, that's like wanting 15 wives. You know what I mean? It's a lot. It's
But you got one of the busiest shops in fucking LA right now.
You know what?
Which
I'll give this up to Manny. Consistency, and it's very impressive to watch fathers bring their sons in. That is like where you're like, my dad's bought from you guys, I buy from you guys, or I see random people and they're like, oh yeah. And we don't market. I mean, that's part of this conversation is going to be later today. Our marketing is garbage. Like Miami Mango marketing is on 10, Green Dragon marketing is like 2.5. And that's, but it's almost kind of like, for me, it makes me feel like, almost like these people are here, they had to find me. Like they had to find me and then keep coming.
You still do it. I mean, you're out there. Got one of the busiest fucking stores, and you're barely on Instagram anymore because you're pissed off on Instagram because they keep deleting you, like they deleted me. But then again, there's other people that are 5 fucking million followers that do the same thing you do.
Same thing. I don't get it.
And they're not fucking deleted. It's just, I mean, there's something going on.
I loved Instagram so much. I remember when I was at like 25,000 and they took the account. And I remember my heart dry because we were sharing everything.
Yes,
we were sharing the whole thing, man. It was like a really
menu, when to release.
Oh man, it's just like every day in the grow. Yeah, every day in the grow. Every day when we're building stuff. Every day when we're talking to the city, we were trying to share the whole thing. And they can say it's an algorithm, which maybe once you get popped, it's an algorithm. Mm-hmm. But the dudes that somebody lit you up in the beginning to start the algorithm,
very possible. They hate.
And I know so. I mean. I was putting 400 people for clone drops in the street. Right after those started happening, we were deleted. I mean, it's the Instagram got upset about clone drops? You know what I mean? I don't think so. And that's okay. It's part of life. Like we realized, but it was such an amazing marketing tool because as you know, you could drop something and see this direct correlation of business.
Sales.
Crazy. I'm going to drop this on Saturday. Fucking 250 people show up to come on Saturday. You're like,
Damn.
Whoa.
The power of fucking Instagram.
The power of Instagram, yeah. And so it hurt, but then like we just had to learn to live with less air, we're not going to be able to get it back.
True, 100%. Yeah, once those pages are gone after so much time, you get even when I've had my original name 3 times.
Yeah, and when you restart and you get to 10,000, then boom again. It's like I don't think X is a better platform by any means.
I could never get used to it. I could never get it. There was no page.
I just had to stick with it because I'm like, at least they let me verify and send in my documents and like corporate shit. And then now someone can't go pop me ever. I sent my actual California license in. Mm-hmm. I sent everything so that like got the gold one, paid for it. Was like, I want to be safe, man. I'm tired of putting any energy into this.
62 times either have been suspended or fully deleted from Instagram.
I've seen
62 fucking times. At one time, I mean, I had close to 100,000 followers, 50,000 followers, 20,000 followers. Yep. 62 times. And it's demoralizing. And you know what? It does reflect on your sales.
Yeah.
It does reflect on your sales. Man, so you have to start thinking outside the box.
It's somebody taking
Google,
money.
SEO,
And you get people, like I said, it's just you're never going to get, I think in that situation, they used weed to blow Instagram up because it was so popular, and then they were like, hey, we're going to market to kids, so fuck weed. Yeah. And then that left all of us like just sitting there with no, it got family friendly, and there's no way to. We had this. It crushed me because all the people I had contacts with, like people like you, the breeders that I loved, all these guys that like we're exchanging back and forth, and I'm able to like, have this interaction was so great, and then all of a sudden it's like, because when you got like deleted. People even finding you again was hard.
Correct. Yes.
You know what I mean? And so like, yeah,
not they explored as much, and like
But we had that era. We didn't bubble from that era. Mm-hmm. We didn't get the push off of it. So we just after that died, we were just like, they can't take billboards down.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So we started buying billboards, more billboards.
The funny thing is that this podcast, one of the reasons for this podcast is because this would be a super hard page to delete, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I figured that if I can attract my viewers here and spread knowledge here, and I would always be able to springboard, like if they delete my page, I can put a post on this page, or I can talk about it in on this podcast, through YouTube, through all these other.
And the long form shit is dope for this. Like it's dope because now you can take the little parts that you like, throw them out in the shorts.
Right.
And I think it does leave a real record. That's what's dope about, like, even when you talk about like the Adam Dunn show. Mm-hmm. Going back and like I used to just be all the way there was just so few things to get your information from, and it seemed like there was these dudes that they're really cool, but they were like, not, I won't say gatekeeping, but like they were the guys you had to talk to, and those guys had like Amsterdam experience and shit that I didn't have.
Correct.
So I felt like maybe I wasn't cool enough to be in there.
The original was like the back of High Times magazine where there was a question.
Oh, absolutely.
Q&A. I think if you were a grower back in fucking the 90s, dude.
Oh my God.
That was your one go-to page. That you buy the magazine just to go to the back page and read. Forget the pictures, the Q&A.
I remember
because you couldn't ask him, hey, do you grow weed? Hey, do you grow weed? Especially in Florida.
you
Growers,
guys were
you would not
isolated,
tell anybody you were a grower. So anyway, so back to that. So then you went legal
Yeah.
and you were a cultivation. Did you have the store too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The same. The original store, Green Dragon, has been there since '07,
Okay.
the whole time, and it's always had cultivation attached. Just got bigger over
Okay.
time, and
So 215, same place, same store,
exact. Yeah.
same
Because
everything. And
because
then-
see, like the whole thing about having one of those original LA shops is, in order to maintain that, what was it, limited persecution or some shit. It wasn't a license. In order to get like to where the DA wasn't going to prosecute you, you had to not be within this many feet of a school. Zoning, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we already zoned.
Okay.
So we knew when that came, we didn't have to move. We were in an M1 industrial zone. We were ready for it. So then the license, but even then we had to like not sell weed for. It was some crazy shit waiting on this
For how
license
long?
for like I forget. It was a fucking
Forever.
it was
looking back on it,
fucking
yeah.
forever. Yeah, and we had to like it was a bitch, the switch over, and yeah, it took a year. It took a year for us to figure out what to package, how to package it, how to cure shit to be packaged.
Right. Yes.
Right,
'Cause
different-
You can't have too
different
much
game.
moisture; it will mold up in the
Yeah,
package.
different game, and you got to hit it just right. And so that that was a lot. That was a big transition, and then we got lucky. We got right around 18. A good friend of mine, Jigga 415 Jai, brought cookies down to our location. Brought him and Burn, and they walked through the rooms, and they were like, "Man, this is fire!" And we were like, "We want to produce." And they had just been in a situation where they were looking for indoor producers, and they were coming into the legal market at the same time. So it was a real dope fit, and we kind of got like the first no like contracts or anything, but like the first like, you're gonna do it for us, and we all just kind of shook hands. And so when cookies dropped in the rec market, it was almost exclusively Green Dragon weed.
And I think back in the what were was it Gary Payton or
Gary, but there was
Cereal?
gelati. There was there was Cereal and Gary were a little later.
Okay.
But there was like limoncello, gelati, gelato 41. We were growing all that for the cookies brand too, and then OGs. We grew
Okay.
a lot of OG for the cookies brand, like that they would call like Florida OG, or you know what I mean, like different.
Right.
Me and Jai like hit it off on like a crazy friendship level where it was just like we saw the picture, and like he owned the company and I own my company, and it was like, me and Manny sat down, we want to do for cookies. Yes, it's a good move, dope. And he talked to Burn, and pretty soon we're all just moving, and it's like they're killing it. They're opening up stores like fuck, like not fuck, but our stores, I love, we're proud of what we've done. But I also have to recognize like the opening day on Melrose that they hit,
Yeah, I heard about it.
bro, that was like, I want to say like 600 grand in a day or something. It was like, it's the biggest, no one's even come close. So like, they definitely pulled off like, a half court shot over and over again. And it was dope to like be able to be a part of it, and then realize like that the dude that was the underpinning of this shit was like damn near the same exact age, damn near like our kids are the same age, our like interests are like we had all these similarities. So it was awesome to just not just get the cookies opportunity, but get like to get a good friend out of it, and like someone that could teach you and like had been around, and like that wave that before me, the Girl Scout wave. I always say it to people, like being in the music industry, you can like manufacture a hit. Like Justin Bieber, they used to pay girls to chase them through the mall, okay? And then girls chased them through the mall, right? They had to start that off. Cookies was one of those things that it didn't have any Justin Bieber chasing. It legitimately was a hit. It was like one of those rappers that comes out of nowhere that doesn't have a label, but he's got a hit song. And you can't replicate that. What was impressive was they fucking replicated it. And so Gelato happened, right? Because everybody hated on Girl Scout. That can't be them. Then Gelato, they documented it. And then Gary Payton came back again and whopped it all over. So it was like we were just happy to be in the middle of some shit that was
The
like
action, the drama.
Yeah, not even just the fucking the energy, man. Like that, like we knew if we did well with it, it was gonna like go, and it did. It like we had a real an awesome run with it, and learned a lot. And fuck, man, yeah, you know, like just producing for a company that's you know, at that time that was like a red hot coal, man. Like everybody was just trying to be around or apart, and we weren't trying to. We just got blessed with being with the people at the time.
Did you pheno hunt this, or did they give you the cuts back in the day? By the looks of my surroundings, you think that you've landed in some kind of spaceship. No, you've actually landed on a sponsored ad. A sponsored ad by Thinker LED. Thinker LED is the leader in cultivation technology for lighting, whether it's a greenhouse light, indoor light, inner canopy light, or under canopy light. Thinker LED is the leader in spectrum control and grouping of lights. All the best growers use Thinker LED. What are you going to use?
They had a big greenhouse out in Los Alamos with all the strains in it, and we went up there to go get cuts, but they had like legit like Los Alamos bugs. So we sent our IPM guys up, sprayed it before, took them, you know, tried to like mitigate outdoor shit, and it wasn't like a reflection of their cuts. It was just like coming outdoor to indoor, like it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
And like most people want to do that through seed. You know what I mean? They want to take cuts, and we did it that way, and it was you know, it was a little harder than normal, but we got through it, and we got to producing with them, and you know, like we also got like the next round once they turbocharged it, and had like JB hit a bunch of stuff with the KM11 male, and that took it to like that gave it the recreational. It already had the terps and the smokability. But to sell it in a store, you needed that THC percentage.
Right.
And anything they touched with that KM11 male, just 30%,
Really?
30%, 30%. So, like, yeah, JB that shit was like magic.
That's why you were saying that at the facility earlier, that his stuff is usually, you know, testing high.
His shit's top notch.
Testing high. Cool.
It's
Nice.
testing high and, like,
Smoking.
it's
You said
smoking.
smoking.
It's smoking. It's he puts in a lot of work. I don't like to be like comparative to what other people do, because I don't know what other breeders do, and I obviously don't run everybody's gear like a lot, but his gear, anytime that dude gives me a clone or his selections are dope too. I run some of his selections, like where he straight selected the clone and I'm running that clone, and it's fire as fuck. You know, I mean, like he's on it. You know, there's a lot of dudes doing good ass work, and then there's always people I don't even know about that someone will be like, did you even know about this dude? And I'm like, no. And then I'll be like, they'll say like I don't want to mess this guy's name up. I don't know if it's I could be wrong. It might not even be this dude, so I don't want to mess it up. The breeder that did Sherbanger, but like that dude's like and he just started killing the game with like, I don't know if you smoke Sherbanger, but that's a fire ass strain. It's Headbanger and Sherb, and that shit is like, and everything that guy touches has that kind of profile, which is really dope. Just like the dude that did GMO, hunted all the burgers, the Donnie burger, the
Yes.
Han Solo burger, and all that shit, dumps hash, has got that right, like, you know, to it, that gooiness. So, yeah, but Seed Junkie, for me, for sure, one of the top dudes in the game, and that was cool. That was like my first time seeing the gear before somebody and after somebody. You know what I mean? Had done work with it.
So you've been growing for a long time, and you've been freaking you know, popping people's seeds for a while.
A long time.
For a long time, and you're one of the guys that understands how expensive it is to pheno hunt. I mean, we've had this discussion before.
Well, it depends on how much you're pheno hunting, right? You
True,
know what I mean?
true,
Like,
but if you're, you know, I'm sure you're constantly pheno hunting. We're pretty constantly pheno hunting. We're going to start actually pretty much pheno hunting our 24 light LED room just for that. But it's costly. It's expensive, you know, because just like you said, sometimes you've hunted for 4, 5, 6, 7 months and haven't seen anything.
A ton of crap.
Haven't
It's
seen
just like
anything.
mediocre. It's not bad. It just doesn't.
It's just not-
You know
not
what
the
I mean?
one. It's not that
I don't even
one.
want to put it in the nursery because there's something in the nursery that represents that flavor profile better.
Better, exactly.
You know what I
So, so imagine, you know, whether you have, you know, one light that's for pheno hunting, or you have, you know, 30 lights that's for pheno hunting. That could have been packs. That could have been paying.
100%.
The bill.
Oh, especially back when, you know, shit was more.
Yes.
I mean, it's
You're
a lot.
It's definitely taking.
like
you
if
know,
your option was pheno hunting or growing ice cream cake. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's a difference in money.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, and getting people to be organized with it. You know, I think we always hunted but I think our organization skills were kind of whack with our hunting. You know, I hunted Archive and CSI and fucking, I mean, everybody, Colorado. But, you know, we would do it and stay after it a little bit, but not like crazy. You know, pop 3 or 4 packs, then a couple months later, pop 5 packs. And I knew that when 18 came, we needed to do a better job at it. That's one thing I knew, that like, we can't just stay growing OG, because I seen Jungle Boys hit Wedding Cake and all this other shit, and they were killing it. And people were coming to me going like, you're on the OG, and you know, Girl Scout, it's the new shit. And so I thought like, well, I'm trying to keep up with new shit by buying the same people they buy and all that shit, but it's not working because I'm me. I have to run this whole thing, and if I really want somebody focused, I need to either, I'm thinking, teach somebody at the time, and then I, you know, being on IG like we talked about, I started seeing like different people, different cultivators that were really into hunting. And so that around that time is when we brought Derek down and put him to work hunting. You know,
He was a grower in Oregon,
he was from Washington,
that's where it was.
little ass town, 2,000 person town in Washington.
And I remember he was either going to work for Mike McCoy or you, and he ended up going south to Southern California.
Well, we never really actually intended to. What really happened was I had a dude, shout out Colin, that was like a real OG, like growing fire ass OG. And when legalization came, he thought he was gonna like open up a spot. Well, he was gonna. He looked at it and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go for it, because dude's like a successful dude, regular like real estate guy, like good guy. And so the dude's like, I'm gonna open a spot, but I need a grower because I have regular shit to do. You know what I mean? Like, and so I actually brought Derek out for that. I never offered Derek a job. I let him come out for this other dude.
Interesting.
And then when I expanded, I said, you know what? Maybe I should call this dude and give him a job and bring him down here. And so like, he also went to a few other spots like Seed Junkie. He wanted a job with JB, which made sense because most of the gear that he brought down that was dope was Seed Junkie gear.
Okay.
So I kind of ended up like, in essence, I found out about how dope Seed Junkie was through Derek.
Okay.
That's because I had popped like Seed Junkie seeds before, but like a few here or there, like a wedding cake. You know, I hadn't gone deep on Seed Junkie at all. And he brought down like every damn cross from Kush Cake to any. It was every cross that JB had him as a tester, and so we popped them all.
Okay.
And found some, you know, some heaters.
Some heaters.
Yeah. But we basically brought someone in to be more organized with it, to focus on it, you know, and kind of like, just, you know, that's what we didn't have. I had dudes that have been growing weed, working for me for 12 years, that grow better weed than anybody hunting.
And there is a skill to it, you know. There's a skill to it, and we started doing it obviously at the facility after like the first year and a half. We started pheno hunting and stuff like that, you know, popping seeds. Now we're up to breeding, you know, some of our strains with the house breeder, Ricky, which is over there in the audience next to Jigga. Shout out to the guys in the audience. Big audience over there, 2 people. But anyway, you know, we breed, we pheno hunt, and it's expensive. And it's just like you said, now the more that we're doing it, the more organized that I see that I need to get, you know. I was waiting until the last, you know, we crop now 52 days because of spectrum tuning. I'll go in there in the last week. But then what I've realized this last couple of, you know, breedings that, you know, I need to start going in there early because we're finished so fast that we can get an earlier one.
That makes sense, yeah.
That's more proper, you know, way earlier than what we're thinking about, and then it starts actually to degrade, to diminish.
Well, you know, look, our experience, I don't care who's hunting, is you get a bunch of plants, and the littlest, shittiest ones taste the best. And the biggest ones that fucking grow easy 100%. And fast taste like cardboard. And
You're
it's like,
fucking,
and,
dude,
and that shit is universal across it. And what you're doing as a selector is you're kind of like trying to balance both of them. You know, like because you. And so when I'll hear people and they're like, I'm hitting this number or whatever off of this strain, I'm like, yeah, you got somebody selected booth.
Yeah, we freaking we just tried a bunch of blue lobster crosses and a bunch of, what was it, neon lemons? Neon mango.
So like basically Tiki Madman cross, because you know that's a tiki cut.
I thought it was Cypher Genetics.
I thought it's the main trees dude, right? But I thought it was a tiki.
Cypher Genetics has
It wasn't called Blue Lobster.
The
it was
lobster,
called-
the lobster is, but I don't know, if
Like-
it's crossed with the other ones. I don't know if they came.
I know
from,
that I think they named their version of his. I could be wrong, but from what I thought, those dudes kill it though. I love their work. Looks fucking stupid.
I
Like,
forget who brought the seeds, but we popped them.
how do you do?
You know what? Just like everything, there were some fucking awesome ones, and then there's some that you're like looking at this thing produce, beautiful, gorgeous, like, and then it just didn't smell. You know what I'm saying? But that's just
Or
anything
didn't,
else.
or the taste doesn't
But
cross
you're-
over, right?
You're
Like,
right, 100%. Usually, the smallest, hardest to grow are the ones that have the
yeah.
better look, the better
Oh,
smell. Maybe not the better look, because there's some that are massive that look beautiful,
Yeah.
but they just don't smell.
Yeah, it's just it is what it is, and with you're playing the numbers at that game, and that's why when you talk about what does it costs like if you want to do it right, you need someone to be real organized with it. You need someone to be looking for what to pop, because that matters too. So like in my thing, we never pop random. We would talk no matter who's doing the hunts. We talk about what we want to find. Like the reason why we'll hunt things that are skunky or like I remember shit 21, 22, I'm popping all stuff. I'm popping maybe a little after that raw genetics GMO times Georgia pie. I'm popping like a bunch of Kim stuff that I wanted to find rank crosses, some animal face, and trying to find like that. And I can remember people coming to me at the time and being like, the wave is candy, the wave is this sweet stuff. And I'm like, I'm not even arguing that. I just know that like right now we steer this ship. We try to find like I think a year ago we were on that OG, not from seed, but we went back and got all. When I say all, I went to all those guys that would never give you the cut, and now because nobody wanted it, they'll give it. I had dudes close their shit down, been growing 20 years, and then they finally gave me the cut.
Gave you the cut, yes.
And so I'm running like 6 or 7 that are, and we've gotten back down to 3. Like
Yep.
you
I got
know,
the original TK, and
Yeah.
I got the Josh D. I got the Ghost.
yeah.
Now I got the new Wi-Fi number 5, new Wi-Fi number 3. We're in the,
Which grow much better than all the other OGs, but
Yes.
they're OG light a little bit. Like as far as the flavor,
Agreed.
It's not like the
Agreed.
one that's really impressed me that I don't think I ever grew right. And Manny will probably shoot me for telling people this, but is the King Louis. I have a King Louis right now that's just Padre. It's so pretty that like it's classic OG that I. Now what I'm gonna look for, and I'm growing right now, is I'm growing a bunch of headband and different shit. I want to find lemon fuel. I always like that little bit of sour
Lemons
in my
are
OG.
coming back.
A little bit of lemon fuel underneath it, gas, and because the real OG is dirt, pine, earth.
Yes.
So I want to find
Yes.
like the
Lemony, the piney,
lemony, the
the
pine.
piney.
Yeah, a little bit that side. That's what we kind of were.
The piney. The lemons are coming back. I've seen a lot of guys in the industry that, the neon mangoes that which by the way have nothing to do with my mango haze. It was he brought the seed packs. Josh brought the seed packs over to us, and it's a bunch of lemon, very very lemony, very lemony.
But
Super lemony, has nothing to do with a mango, but it's super lemony. But it's bright green.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The CSI dude has one called Lemon Party, which is like a lemon tree. He got it as a lemon tree cut, but he's like, it wasn't lemon tree, but this shit was better than lemon tree in every way, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what happens with me with Jack terps. When I'm hunting seeds, because that's another thing. You could be hunting a lot of stuff, and it can be like GMO times something, and then out of nowhere, a damn one tastes like Jack. And you're like, where the fuck did that terp
It's so
come from?
dominant sometimes.
It just
So
jumps out where
dominant,
it's like two short people making a tall person or
Yeah.
something. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But it's in cannabis so much that like, but that's my goal. Like one of my goals is I figure like I'm gonna find the best by searching through all this shit. I'm gonna originally find like the best Jack ever, right? Just because like it's gonna pop out at some point. I have to recognize it
That's
when it
funny,
pops
'cause some
out.
people say that the mango haze is Jackie or train wreckish. Train wreckish.
Train wreck,
Jackish.
snowcap. Those were the terps that were Jack before Jack.
Right.
Snowcap and Trainwreck both have that same. It's terpeline or some shit like that. I don't know. One of those.
Mycerne-ish, kind of like a little
But
bit
they
like
all
that.
say that that's like. But I just remember if you say that smell, I remember that Snowcap and Trainwreck smelled like that way before Jack existed. Both of those strains were coming down from
Yeah.
Mindo way earlier.
Yeah, I would say that too.
You know.
There's
But-
definitely a terp that that comes out across. It's like a, what's it called? A dominant,
Yeah.
dominant trait.
Yeah, she jumps out.
So I wanted to. So this is a hot topic lately. It's a hot topic all over the interweb. The toad poison.
The frog poison,
Frog
toad
poison,
venom.
toad venom. You can
Becky.
tell them hi. Yeah,
Becky, yeah.
AKA Becky.
Becky.
Becky. So you were asked today by Josh, the director of cultivation, and by the way, the toad venom or frog poison original name is called Becky, and this is the gentleman who actually popped that seed.
The team,
huh?
the whole team. You know, not me individually, but our company. Yeah,
The company. Yeah.
Green Dragon.
Green Dragon was the one that popped the toad venom frog
And
poison that everybody's going
out in the
raving
Coachella
about.
Valley in Cathedral City, and
4 years ago, right?
21,
Yeah.
21, so maybe a little farther, but like basically sometime in 21 is when she went down.
4 years ago. So let's discuss.
Well,
Let's discuss Becky. Why'd you name her Becky? Somebody asked that at the facility today, and I thought it was hilarious.
We had a really fire strain that did really well for us named Keisha, and it was purple. So we used to call it the Keisha. So we basically named Becky, you know, like she was that same thing, but like basically all green. So white girl Becky.
White girl Becky. Okay.
And we put a little ski mask on her. And look, I'll be the first one to tell you.
You've always said this. I know what you're going to
They
say.
marketed this shit. There's a group of people that ended up taking the cut and marketing it, and they marketed it way better than we did.
You've always said that. You always give credit.
Hey, you know what? I won't give them credit for like any of the other part, but I'll tell you that
100%. You've always said that. Give it credit.
Hey.
You know what? Those guys can't hate on it. They fucking did a better job marketing than I did.
But it came from my garden.
Yes,
I
it did.
paid for it. I did not give it to anybody to be disseminated any other way. There's been some talk that like we allowed it to go back to the breeder. And you know what's crazy is on most of our cuts, we've always done that. If the breeder wants it back, I'll give it back to the breeder. Now, this particular person that did it, we didn't have that agreement with, and it was for good reason. But apparently it happened, and it made circles, and it made the wave it's making. And I wasn't even mad about that wave or that somebody the real deal is if somebody would have asked me and said they were going to do this with it, I would have said yes.
The
but-
part that you weren't included in it.
And
'Cause
then
I've had this discussion with people like, you know, if it's in my facility, it becomes the fucking facility's property. You know
yeah,
what I'm
and
saying?
even beyond that, it's like, look, man, don't deny this is where it came from. That's what set this whole thing off. It had nothing to do with like any of the other. It has everything to do with the fact that like once it came out and somebody said, "Hey, this is what this is," I was like, "Really?"
And I don't know if it was ever denied because there was obviously a thread that I put on my, though actually, you know, Josh put it on the podcast page, and then it got traction or whatever, and then it was mentioned that it was stolen, this and that and the other, and then I might have said that on a comment, you know, that it was stolen, and then the real name was Becky, and then somebody commented, you know what, you know, stolen is a far fetch, getting it back, you know, so
Well, right, and look, it is.
so he did.
What it is that like when you do this type of thing, it is very common for people to give it back to the breeder, and that's not a like at all any way, shape, or form a negative thing. And if that breeder, if I had a relationship with that breeder like that, and you know part of that too is something I learned. The Instagram, when you bring someone in to do something, they oftentimes get the connection.
Right.
So if the breeder thinks, oh, well, this guy's the one that's popping my seeds, this guy's the one that's selecting. But the truth of the matter is, the way it has always worked at Green Dragon, and it will continue to work, is when the shit is trimmed, it comes to my place, my offsite office, and we go through it. Not just me, Manny, Art, anybody that's there that smoked with us for years. I don't give a shit. It could be the guy that does the printing. He's worked for me for 11 years. He used to run BHO. That guy gets to come smoke it. Like, come let's all figure it out. And it's evident most of the time. And then the guy that does, like, you know, another job for me gets to smoke the ones that we don't necessarily like. Everything gets smoked in a way. And have people, like, taken a nug of things before it got to me? Sure. But did they ever, or anybody in the history of Green Dragon, put something into production without the stamp of us smoking it as a tester and saying, yeah, that can go in? And in fact, it never goes right into production. It goes through seed, harvest, then plant 4 to 6 clones, then run one more time. Then once 4 to 6 clones exhibit the same straits, because we're doing the top 3, 4 usually, right? Yep. Running them back. So that's maybe 12. Then once we run those back, if the one that stood out, she goes into a minor production, like a half a bed, like 30 pounds, 22 pounds, something like that out, yes. Right? To get like a tester into our shops. It won't even go to everybody. It'll just start going into half ounces and ounces, and we'll get that reaction based on sales. And then the reaction on sales is ultimately whether it makes it into full production or a small bed that keeps rotating once every, 4 rooms or something, right? So, like, that's always the method. There's no, like, any other way around that. I don't care who I have actually germinating the seed. Mm-hmm. I've had so many people germinate. It's like teaching people to clone. I've taught so many people. It's like, get out of here. Like, that's not the job. The job is documenting it. Mm-hmm. And we did bring Derek in. Derek was documenting it. Derek felt really strongly about this strain. Mm-hmm. Like, for real. He definitely was like a champion of it when it came out. So was everybody else. Meaning that, like, if I make you a good drink right now, and it's a good drink, and everybody in this room tries it and says it's a good drink, like,
it's a good drink.
You know what I mean? It's a good drink. But you didn't, like, the point I'm trying to make is that, like, it's universally a good thing. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like you brought it to me and told me, oh, this is awesome. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? We always get the same things, and we go through it blind because we don't want influence. I don't want to know what you think. I want to smoke it, and our rule is you write down the number. I mean, so that's how Toad Venom took place. The same way we called her Becky. She made it into production.
You said there was a couple of others that were better than that too, though. You did.
I mean, right? Isn't that weed though? That's personal.
Yeah. You mentioned that to me a while back.
Yeah.
Might have been personal.
I mean,
that one happened to get picked by others, but you thought there was a couple others that were outliers.
Well, look, not in that. Honestly, in that seed, in that hunt, there wasn't like another pheno in that hunt that was even near what Toad Venom was. If we didn't choose the Toad Venom, we wouldn't have chose that seed run at all. Okay. Like, it would have just gone in the trash. It wasn't like everyone was a winner, if that makes sense. Sometimes they are. That just didn't happen to be that way. It made it back, and yeah, like I said, we put it into production, and then after that, we didn't think too much of it. Like, it's one of the ones, it's like we got hitters. I mean, there's a lot of good weed that we have, and I think it's one of them. And look, for me, I feel personally super, like, I feel good about it because I quarterbacked it. I made a plan. I brought a dude from the middle of nowhere to have this plan. I fucking made that whole thing. Like, I thought it up in my head and executed it. And then for it to work 3-4 years later, for it to come out and be like the wave, I'm like, you guys don't see that we quarterbacked that? Like, how can anybody take credit for some dude that I brought down, that I put in there, that I paid for? You can't. And so that's what got us upset, or got me more upset, is being in this long enough. I was like, man, I really pride myself on the fact that I did that. Mm-hmm. Like, that's an accomplishment. Like, I can tell you I won a Grammy. I can tell you I'm as proud or more proud of what just happened with Toad Venom, because I'm like, me and Manny sat down, talked about this, and like, made reality happen.
Like vindication.
Yeah, it's like if you go buy, like, if you watch the Cowboys thing, they had this Jerry Jones thing on Netflix, and he literally bought the Cowboys and was like, I'm about to do this. And like, you can say what you want. There's a lot of great players that came through those doors, but that dude made it happen. Like, you could see it from his vision. Yeah, there's Michael Irvins, there's Troy Aikmans. That dude literally said beforehand, hey, I'm going to do this. And that's what we did. So I feel like, oh yeah, also, we did the cookies thing. It's like, okay, well, at what point, when someone denies us that we did that, at what point do I sit back and not say anything? Like, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we did this this was purposefully done. This was not even an accident. And so when it happens, yeah, like, is it the best thing we've ever found? No. And was me bringing Derek in to hunt a good move? Yeah, and he did a great job. He brought some great shit, but I had great shit from Fletcher at Archive before I met Derek. I had great shit from Karma Genetics before I met Derek. It's like a team member. We just had to keep going, and at the end of the day, for me, when that's why I don't discredit toad venom. I don't discredit it's good weed. It's good weed, but it's weed on my level.
Right, you
It's
guys,
like what
you guys
I,
found it. You guys
yeah,
hunted
like
it.
like, but
You guys
it's
selected
all
it.
of our shit is like that.
Selected it, yes.
And we don't really run a lot of non-selected stuff.
And you were telling me, there was a story that you were telling me that you were sitting with Archive, Fletcher, I believe his name is, Fletcher, the breeder for Archive.
Shout out Fletch.
Yeah, shout out, Fletch. And you guys were smoking, and he's the one that said, hey, you know what, this is that Becky. What was the story?
Yeah, it was like I can't I can't recall the specifics of exactly how he found our we were hanging out at our spot smoking. He stopped by after PuffCon, and these guys had like I guess like the biggest wave ever at PuffCon. Everybody's like this toad, everything, and Fletcher's thing is always like most people take credit for people's work. They don't do the work. Right. And so and he's right. He's an old dude like us. He's been doing it a long time. So he's used to people jumping on, taking a clone from somebody and saying they did this. So he starts talking about the toad venom because of the wave. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's us. And he's like, what do you mean that's you guys? And I'm like, that's us. That we did that. We selected that in Cathedral City. And he's like, no fucking way. And he's like, because he's hearing this whole alternative story that these guys are talking about the rarest weed in the world and they found it and they did this. And so Fletcher's like, you got to be kidding me. Like, you got to be joking that that's you. And so, we smoked it and then I gave him a clone because I respect what I say. Like, before I met Derek or any of those guys, I was popping Fletcher stuff.
Right.
So when I said, you want to see how it is and judge it, here you go grow it.
Shit.
Right? You know what I mean? Because I felt like,
That's how he's got it, and he's selling it up.
Well, he did later on, but that wasn't something that I got upset about because I felt like there was major growers like Preferred, Wizard Trees that wanted that. I didn't know how to go to them. I didn't know how to turn that out and make sure they knew it came from me. Fletcher did. So the point is like those are dope connections but when someone starts saying we didn't do it, well, wait, man, I don't want Preferred or people that I respect in the game out there thinking that like I'm like riding somebody's jock or something. No, man, we did this. Like, you don't know us. We're not great promoters or marketers, but everybody in LA knows us. Yeah. They know that we've been there, and they don't want to have a store next to us.
No.
Or, you know what I'm saying? And like,
you're a beast. I've always said the motherfucker's a beast. Not only do you grow some fucking fire ass weed, but you know a lot of people, and you know a lot how to do a lot of different things.
We've been in the same place for a long time. If we were doing bad business or something wrong, it wouldn't have lasted. So that's the credit I give to Manny. I'm a hothead. I'll be upset about this, but I know what the long run is that there's a whole bunch of people that walk in there every day that keep the lights on, both working and being patrons, and all this work. This is to better that. This is so those people, think about this. Shit that people were paying how much an ounce for, I don't even want to say. There's people that have been my customers that have been buying that for affordable, regular weed prices. Now you tell me that's why they didn't want this out, because they're making this like crazy knot, and I'm telling people like it's my level weed. You could come get some other really good shit too.
The funny thing is when I first started hearing about it, Shane, that was at my facility, he goes, hey, let's go in and this cut, let's get it. I'm like, fuck, they want $5,000 for the cut. Okay, let me make a phone call. And then I was going to do it, but then, we ride the candy gas train. You know what I'm saying? It pays the fucking bills.
It does, yeah.
We sell the shit out of the clones for, got great candy gas. And it was like, my team at that time looked at me and goes, you know what? We're going to spend $5,000. And then, have you seen the weed? I'm like, no, I haven't seen it. So how the fuck you know it goes? You got to take a chance. It's like I took a chance with my Mango Haze. Like I took a chance with freaking Purple Punch. I was one of the first persons. Purple Punch. I told that story, and it made me a lot of money. And I don't think I'll second guess myself the next time. That it's just when you have a chance, you just do it. You're gonna get your money back. It's only it's $5,000, big deal. I paid more for a strain. I paid $60K for the fucking Mango Haze back in 2001.
Oh, gee, I was paying like $500 a clone at one point. Like when I first got it, like when I didn't know where to get it, and this dude was like, I got a tray, and I was like, how much? You know what I mean? And it's like, so yeah, but it just, I wanted it. I wasn't even going to release it like that either, or say it was cool to be released. because Fletch is a super good dude, and if I would have been like, I don't want you to do that, he wouldn't have done it. But once I
don't know Fletch. Never met
oh
him.
yeah, solid dude.
Never met him.
Solid dude, bro. All about what it is. And here's
I know
the
his
thing.
head grower is fucking great dude. Adam.
Yeah, yeah.
Adam, Biff.
Yeah,
Biff.
yeah.
Super fucking cool dude.
I mean, those,
Shout out to Biff.
man. That's why I'm saying it's like
Biff, we can coming out here, dude. Come on, let's go.
But these
Forgot
guys-
about you. I'm gonna remember you on the list.
And that's Fletch. Fletch was like a dude that had come to LA to Grew right around the same time that we were jumping off, and then he moved to Portland and jumped on Portland.
Interest. Didn't know that.
And so, or Washington, one of those. And so,
Portland.
I always felt like, like once this all made its way out, like I said, I just wanted people to know, not like I said, not to take credit away, just to be like, hey, it's my organization. We did it. This is the way we do it. I'm not taking everything I've said about how we test it and handle it. That's verifiable by hundreds of people. You know what I mean? I do it, but every individual player, just like on a team, they bring their own things. And so I would be a disgrace to myself if I discounted the people that have played a role. You know what I'm
100%.
saying? Like, I'm proud of that. I drafted him. What do you mean? Like, this dude didn't walk in and take a job. You know what I mean? Like, I did that. And I feel proud. I feel proud about all the people. There's so many people that come from our spot that go run other shit. I mean, I can't stop counting. And they go run, and I'm proud, man. I want them to go on and do more and whatever. Man, that's how
Sweet.
I got, like, right? Like, anybody you get, if they're really good enough, they're either going to be your partner or your competition.
I agree.
Okay, so like you figure that out.
Yeah, I agree.
And my thing is, I want to just be ultimately lift people up. If we can, that's the same thing as sharing the
Lift
genetics.
them up. Sharing the genetics, sharing the fucking profit sharing, like you said you were doing.
I did. I treated people very good on how they were able to eat, and so yes, after the fact, it is what it is. And the history of Toad Venom is where it is now, and we're running with the branding because I'd
So
be
when you sell it at the store, you sell it as
Toad Venom now. Yeah, I switch it over. I switch it over. Hey, look, they won.
Hell yeah.
They won. What am I gonna say except for like you guys did a better job at the damn at the marketing.
The marketing, yes.
But also, it's a little easier. We talked about this too when you could market scarcity because you only got 10 pounds.
Right.
With us, I can't market scarcity with 500, 1,000 pounds. You know what I mean? What am I? Oh, you can only get 1/4 of. It doesn't work like that. So it's kind of like the guy that buys the $10,000 pair of Jordans. They figured that market out. I'm not disrespecting that.
Got to give a little bit of shout out to our all craft farmer. He's like, I think he said it. I think you've said it and he said it. And people have said it before. What weed sells the best? Drama weed.
Hey, the thing about that, and that's the thing about
Drama weed gets
I
the
know
biggest ticket.
That guy's probably a cool guy too.
Yeah.
And it sucks to have like negative, once again, some cool shit that's happening for everybody be negative, right? But like, this dude's like, I get an email letter that he's selling the cut for $5,000 a cut. And I'm like, I bought your lights, homie. Like, they were trying to sell me Favens for cheaper, and I supported the craft farmer.
I'm sure.
I even talked to this dude on the phone through my hydro guy. And then I'm like, I'm trying to get a hold of this dude to be like, yo, you're selling this cut? Like, what's up, man? Like, not even like, give me the money, but more like, what's up? Like, yo, like, and the dude's like, I'm not paying you nothing. I'm like, what the And then he wrote something on IG out, whether this makes it, I don't care or not, but he wrote something on IG that was like, the plant is, no one can truly own the plant. And I thought, man, I done listen to you on IG talk about how mad you are at other people selling under canopy lights because you invented the under canopy light. So I'm like, how are you going to be mad about people biting your lights? And I can't be mad about someone stealing the strain out of my spot.
Yeah, I personally think that email was probably just like a blanket email, which
It might have been.
I don't think he targeted you as a blanket.
No,
email.
not target. No, but that made it worse because I'm like, this dude is hitting everybody with the info. If he just hit me, I'll be all right. Like,
Hey,
I'll buy the cutback. You know what I mean? Like,
He did always say, I think I asked him, do you know what He goes, no, or he might have said yes, but he says, I didn't. He goes, I didn't steal it. I didn't steal it. And I don't know if he said he knew or he didn't. I don't remember.
Hey, somebody could have given it to him. It's just
obviously he did.
Yeah.
It was that company he gave credit to.
Yeah.
They gave him the cut. He says, I can market this. He believed in the cut. He believed.
Well, that's
he said it's
dope.
the baddest, fucking greatest,
Hey,
fucking
right.
shit that got you high.
Right.
Hit all the things. So you guys are there together. And,
Right.
You got a marketing.
I mean, look,
you got a
he
marketing
likes my
point.
weed. I mean, I'm not mad about it. I get what he's saying.
He likes your selection.
He likes my selection.
He likes your selection.
Yeah, I mean, that's and so
That's a compliment.
As long as someone can come from that perspective, you could do this. I'm even down if the dude's like, I don't like that guy, but his selection's dope, right? I don't require you appreciate me as a person, but you're not gonna like sell that cut, tell everybody it's the best in the world, and then like avoid me, like, and tell me like, oh, I don't owe you any money. And I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Like,
I don't think he understood how you were probably coming out, you know, because you're a very nice guy.
I've heard him talk about having to come up with money to buy containers of lights, and I understand what that is as a manufacturer. Well, it just felt like weird. I don't know. It just felt weird. Like, hey, bro, you're selling my cut. What are you buying lights in the future with this, or what are you doing, bro? I don't. But whatever. It was an awkward thing, and it. As a lot of stuff with this cut has been. A lot of these interactions with people haven't been positive. But then it's cool because the people that do know, all those breeders I talk about, they know who it came from.
They know who.
And I gave it to them. I gave it to Seed Junkie. I gave it to. I'm giving it to Karma. I give it to Masonic Smoker.
Okay.
He's coming over this next week. We're gonna dust some stuff up. Like, I'm using it as a tool to hug everybody. So you know what I mean? I wanna embrace like all these people that want to fuck with it. I don't want to be negative, but it seems like the other people that took the cut, that it kind of ruins their marketing if Green Dragon's got the cut. You know what I'm saying? Because then they're like, you could go to Green Dragon and get that on Monday.
Oh fuck!
You feel me? That's a little bit of a different like.
Better keep selling them packs fucking fast, baby.
Fast, baby.
Or start growing and put it in production, so because packs are going low.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's fucking fun. And by the way, this is you brought some weed, which by the way looks fucking fire.
Whatever, yeah. Some
Fire.
of the toad
What's
venom.
the purple? What's the purple cap?
Yeah, the 41 to Sin Mint. This is special. That's 41 to Sin Mint, and she's really dank, but she's in that flavor profile of maybe more gas than candy, but still got that gelato in it.
Yes.
So like like. We're trying. You know, I still have stuff in that.
Great structure, great smell, great look.
Yeah, she's pretty.
That's a fucking winner.
She's a pretty girl. I mean, like, just like when you break down Toad, you always feel the same thing. Like Toad is like Jai was saying earlier, like it's gooey.
And this is the first time ever. Like I said, I told you we got the cut. We finally got the cut.
Yeah.
Somebody bought it, and then they sold it to us for.
That's how it's working.
For a little bit
I heard
less.
everybody paid like $5,000, then everybody else paid $1,000, and then the next dude paid 500. You know, it's like it's awesome.
But sometimes I think, fuck, man, I should have bought it, a month and a half ago because I would have been that farther ahead.
You know what, man? It's I just heard people talking about like it might be the thing that like stops the candy wave, right? And the crazy thing is like that was another reason I felt like I had to talk about because I'm like this shit is gonna go down. And they're gonna erase the fact.
Well, shit, you gave it to fucking Archive, gave it to Seed Junkie, you gave it to Karma, 3 breeders. What other breeders?
And now I'm giving it to Mace.
Oh, you gave the Masonic as a 4th breeder.
Oh yeah, no, because I
have that fucker now.
We're
breeding now.
Yeah, we're gonna play with it, man.
So shit, it might be. I can see the next.
Oh,
the next 4 or 5 months. There's a bunch
Jigga here about to dust cookies. We about to dust the things back. I mean, we're going the whole route.
Jigga, what you gonna hit? You're gonna hit the toad venom to what?
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna do it, and but that's part of the thing. It's like it's an embracing thing. It's a positive thing. So even that thing, like all that shit I said about the craft farmer dude, look, he probably didn't know.
He did.
And you know what?
He did. I talked to him. It's just I didn't know.
He didn't know. And you know what, man? That's cool. Just now that you do know. If you can direct the it's awesome weed,
the credit
our way, we'll be good with it. We just want to be able to do more of this.
Yes,
that's all. Honest to God, I want to make more.
Like I told you when I called you, and I forget why I called you or how I called you, and then you told me the whole story. I go, you're coming up here, and you said on the fucking podcast. So when are you coming? He said I'll be there next week. I said all right.
And then this shit just really started going like nuclear because once again, I guess it upset a certain group of people, and it didn't fit the narrative of like what it was.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And what it was professionally hunted in a professional environment by dudes that been doing it a long time and talented, very talented people growing that are still there and some aren't. But the people that grew that, make no mistake, that were there at 6 in the morning, that left at 7 at night, are still there growing it right now, killing it. What you're smoking right now is from the same rooms it was birthed in.
Yep, and that shit fucking
mean?
tasted great, got me high. Like I said, the first time that I've gotten high before a podcast.
Well,
so I was wondering how this was going to go.
I'm going to take credit for that, too.
I was fucking sweating my ass off at the beginning. I'm like, I'm sweating, I'm feeling this shit.
Yeah, the sweats.
I go, dude, I wonder if I got freaking beads over here. It did get me, you know what? I guess it was the weed that got me a little bit sweaty.
It did get you a little, you got the toad, you got the toad. Hey, like I said, they They
That's
killed
funny.
it with the marketing, and we're real happy that like it did do what it did. I'm at the end of this, when this is all said, all the drama will be gone, and I'm just gonna be happy that it did happen, and I'm gonna be happy I got to tell people about it.
No, fucking for sure. Like I said,
Yeah, I'll take one.
I just figured, you know what, you need to tell your story. Plus, you know, like I said, we've been friends for a while, and you know, you lost your Instagram several times. You kind of gave up on it. You're on X, and I said, you know what, this dude is a great fucking dude. It's a great brand. He always gives credit to the fucking team. He very, you know, you're very innovative. You know, you make it work. And
Yeah.
I said he needs some little exposure. Plus, I'd definitely like to fucking get you on here and talk about, you know, who hunted the Becky,
Yeah.
aka Toad Venom,
Yeah.
frog poison.
Yeah, I mean they did. You know, like I said, that's I have nothing but respect for everybody that's ever worked for me. There's been some things that have happened, with people like there always are. You know what I'm saying?
There's always something.
With shit, but at the end, like it's kind of like relationships. You see people break up with a girl, and it's either like she's the worst person in the world, right? And it's like if you keep meeting people that they just say that's the worst person in the world, you're like, well, the problem is probably you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it probably is not the other way around, and that's the way that we feel. It's just it's one big circle, man, and we've been happy enough to sit in the center of it for a long time and get like we talked earlier about the blessings of like Skittles coming down from the Dookie brothers and them giving it to us, and then we start.
Yeah, I think you said you were one of the, you know. Like,
I don't know. There was a nursery in Santa Rosa before us that I know this guy that Jason from Dookie tried to work with, and it didn't work out. So they probably did have some Skittles cuts up there, but like as far as like for 7 years running, we've been selling Skittle cuts every week. You know what I mean? So like, and I know a lot of the breeders have gotten that for a lot of. I mean, like Black Leaf off first smoke of the day,
Yep.
right? Like Lance or whatever I think is. We were just talking and going back and forth, and he was writing like, yeah, I was at the clone drops. I was getting those things. I got Skittles from you multiple times.
Every fucking buddy in LA that's been growing for a while has been going to your shop.
Yeah.
Because you had the good shit and you would sell it. You know, and
Yeah.
just till now, it was the first time that I've ever heard you say that whatever you grow, you sell. That was fucking interesting.
Yeah, we sell at least a version of it. Like if I'm hunting, if I'm hunting, if we don't sell number 1, we sell number 2.
What's up, guys? I'd like to take this time to thank our current sponsors. First and foremost, I would like to thank Trollmaster. Trollmaster is the king of automation. Nothing else like it in the world. It really is the future of intelligent farming. Also, would like to thank LED, the king of spectrum tuning. High tech, high yields. Last but not least, I'd like to thank Mango Juice. If you ain't juicing, you're losing. Okay.
And and a lot of times, once it comes out of once it's been in rotation for a while, it just makes it to the clone list.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, like straight up, it just goes up there, and people are free to have it,
sharing it.
I mean, I think that's why this will eventually go that way. Toad Venom will eventually come out on that clone tray. It's gonna happen. And honestly, if I really, when I found out about this like a year and change ago,
Damn,
if I wanted to,
long.
oh yeah, if I wanted
okay.
to end the whole thing, I could do a clone drop tomorrow.
Agreed.
I could sell 500 clones tomorrow and end this whole thing. And I never did that to nobody.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Like
You're smart enough to know that you got to ride this a little bit too.
I didn't write it.
No,
I'm gonna
but-
be honest with you. I didn't write it at all. I was on the sidelines watching these motherfuckers pull wheelies. I didn't do none of that shit. I was off the side, and they're like, "Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Did I hear about it?" And I'm just finding out. And I swear to you, it was not until it came into question where it came from that then it was Fletcher on X, and they were telling Fletcher, "Oh, that's not what happened." And I couldn't let my boy go out oh, you got the liar's cut.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I was like, hey, man, this is what
I got
happened.
to stay on business.
But I really didn't, we didn't profit extra from it or any,
No, but maybe from here on out for a little
oh,
bit.
yeah, we trying.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, we trying
That's
now.
what I mean.
Don't
Right
get me
now,
wrong.
we're gonna ride
I'm running that motherfucker up right now. Don't worry about it. But what I am saying is that, we deserve to be able to do that.
100%.
And control the narrative and tell people, this is what happened. And everybody's got their own angle, but that shit is pretty much a Bible of what goes down and went down. And like I said, there's still people here killing it for us. There's still people right now murdering that got us this in the beginning, that made it good. Because this, you can hunt a whole bunch of packs too, but if the people there tending the grow do a shitty job, are you going to be able to select fire?
No.
You know what I mean? It's gonna look like a shitty plant. No.
Just,
you know what I mean?
Just today, as a matter of fact, I was at the facility. You know, it's fucking like the first week of the first month of the year. You know, and I'm telling my PA upstairs, hey, I need you to get me those. Every time that we do a pheno hunt, you know, we get better at our note. You know, the card that
Yeah.
we give to the guys
Yeah.
that smoke. This time we added on there, if you don't return this thing within a week or 10 days, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you giving time.
You know what?
You're out there
A
giving
week to 10
time.
days. Well, if you give them 18 strains, you can't expect them to smoke and then feel good.
That's why.
You know what I'm saying? The,
See, that's the first
the feeling.
But the first thing you do, first things first, is you take those first things that come down, and you and one other person smell test, and maybe smoke a few, and eliminate half of that shit.
Well,
off top.
we do that. We give them everybody that's a heavy smoker or has got some kind of knowledge.
Yeah.
We give them a card and then we send them into the room at first independently, so they can't be influenced by somebody else. They might
That's the
think
right
that's
way,
everything. And then they rate the clone whether it's the looks, how it smells, all that kind of stuff. Whether you want to give it a second chance, right?
Yeah.
Then once those are selected or kept, those are hung and dried. Everything else is not even trimmed. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit!
That goes to extraction.
Oh yeah, you start early. Yeah. shit.
We keep those. You know what I'm saying? We keep those, and then once they're dried and trimmed, then you got to see if the smell transferred. You know what I'm saying? Smell transferred, and then if it did, then they go into that thing. So then people, if you could give them like the
See, I don't cut that first off. That first step that you do.
Yeah.
That's ballsy because sometimes shit cures out a little different. Like we hunted Cushman's to Grape Pie, and I swear to you, the plants they didn't have like a lot of nose in the selection process, but it dried. The one that we picked like came out. That's some, you want to talk about strong ass weed.
And that's interesting, guys. That's an anomaly or abnormality.
Yeah,
Because
it's
it never
weird.
really doesn't happen that way. You
No,
know, like usually if it doesn't
no.
smell, there's like fuck, it dries and it doesn't smell like anything. Like,
You're right. And like I guess I look at all the hay just to see like how many came out of that too. That's what I like to trip off is like, did it hay out the entire, you know what I mean, batch? Or is there like just a large amount of hay? Or is there like, it's weird, but it's like, that tells me how on the breeder was. Which is weird too, because if it is really similar, it kind of sucks because that means everybody else that pops those beans
Yes.
is going to be similar. So the outlying shit is the stuff that I actually like
100%.
because it's a little harder to replicate.
Right, and that's kind of how we're trying to do it now. And then sometimes I'll call, old school, breeders. I think I made a call actually this morning to Alan, Absolute 33, and asked him a couple of questions about, breeding. Because now we're starting to breed, so we have a lot more seeds to go through.
Yeah.
And, if you were buying 10 packs, let's say at $100 or $200 that these people charge, these high-end breeders. You have 100, 200 seeds, that you're gonna go through. Now we have thousands.
Yeah.
And you can't pop thousands, but you got to say, okay, we're gonna fucking pick 25, 25, 25, 25, 25. And then what we do is we grow them to teens, then we fucking clone them again because sometimes the first generation doesn't transfer, the seed doesn't transfer to what it's going to be.
That's right.
So when we keep those, and then we grow them again, and then we'll clone them.
There's definitely more variation going all the way from seed.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like you
Correct.
definitely feel.
So we go through, we clone them off a team, and then we put them into production. Then we got to back that up unless you want to reverse it, later on, or revert it. But
the backing up process is the process.
It's
son of
fucking.
a bitch. Like
occupies
depending
a
on
lot of space.
It really comes down my experience in it because we've done giant hunts, and we've done like fucking 1 or 2 packs. I feel like anytime there's more than about like 8 to 10 strains total, and then a real population is 50. That's what I personally feel.
Total plants.
If you're gonna pop beans,
Okay.
if you have 50 beans to pop, your likelihood of finding something like the best version of it in that is pretty high.
Okay.
That's been my experience. But I've also found some amazing shit out of 10, or 12, or 20.
And that's kind of what I told the team. You know what? We're gonna pop about 25 of each. If you happen to see, like, once we run it, if you say, wow, there's 25, there's fucking 15, 18 good ones. You know what I'm saying?
Go back and run more seed.
You go back and run more seeds, right?
Yeah.
And if this one had none, it's like, almost kind of put that to the side.
Just whatever you do, get a lot of game on how you keep the seed, because I've lost more seed in my game with it not, like, I have some stuff that I'm still so mad about, and I talked to the other dude here about that, and that's about that seed is like, it's tough because getting them to germinate after they go dormant is just like there's a million tricks, but I don't have a lot of luck with them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I just say store them, cool place, Ziploc, do it right, and it'll stay for a long time.
Okay. Good to
You
know.
know, but definitely don't do like me and just put them in a safe. And even though the whole room never goes above 68 degrees,
Interesting.
bad.
Okay.
So I've had some real like losses with that, but you know,
I guess they're all going in the vault, 55 degrees, baby, and freaking, less than 50% humidity.
I mean, even you know what, I like that's some shit honestly that I would ask like Jigga or Fletcher or someone that knows more than me about how to store them because
Store the seeds.
I've done a poor job in general. Is what I can say. I'm getting better, but my track record on loving seeds is not awesome.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. So, you know what? Why don't you tell the viewers, where they can find you on Instagram, because I think you're going to get a couple more followers.
Ooh,
from-
we're gonna have to
from
put
this
that on. What is it? Is it golly? I
one.
have
It's okay,
to
you
put-
can say it because then he's, the editor. He's going to fucking.
We can say it in.
It's,
It's like
it's going to appear right here.
yeah. I think it's theggreendragon.ca. Let me look. I have to look
The
on here.
underscore.
I've been deleted so many times to tell you I know my Instagram would be lying. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. You are right. It's the underscore green underscore dragon underscore CA.
And just make sure that you type it that way because I was actually following a bootleg account.
Yes, you were.
Bootleg
Yeah.
account that wasn't him. So I say, hey, I've been sending you DMs. He's like, I don't know what to wear, and I screenshot it. And he goes, no, that's a fake account. So he does have quite a few fake accounts. So make sure that you get
Yeah.
it correctly.
And then we're on whatchamacallit on X. We're at Green Dragon LA,
Okay.
all one word. And that's, I mean, look, if you really want to mess with us, that's probably the easiest place to follow us because it's guaranteed that they're not taking.
What about a website? Because I know that you have clone drops.
GreenDragonCoop.com, GreenDragonLA.com. All of those go to the same spot. And then Green Dragon brand is like our.
Where's the store located?
It's North Hollywood. We're on Fulton, 7235 Fulton. So basically Fulton and Sherman Way, right in the armpit of North Hollywood. No, but we're down in the industrial area and been there for a long time. And then we have a store in Palm Springs as well, 353 South Palm Canyon. It's they call it the White House. It's a dispensary and lounge. It's dope. We're happy to have that one. And then as far as that, we're distributed throughout the state. You can find our products in a lot of stores, 10 of them throughout Northern California and Southern California.
You all got the toad venom or just?
No, it's pretty. You know what? It's pretty limited on what we've released out.
Okay.
So there was like a pound and a half or 2 pounds of it there, like not much, not for like what we release out.
I'm sure you're going to, because that shit's fire.
Oh, it's doing well. It's doing well for us, and it's
You're
doing
gonna wrap it
well.
up and then put it at the store.
Yeah, yeah.
So all you guys down in LA or anybody, because I get this question a lot. Hey, do you have a picture of the toad venom? Because I've never seen it. If you guys are in the LA area or maybe you want to take a drive down there and find the toad venom, you can go down to.
Yeah, to
Dragon.
Green Dragon. And look, there's like as my guy said, there's a lot of other stuff that we have that I think is comparable on a level. Maybe if you like OGs, we're really known for OG. So there's a lot of variation out there. I think people come by, they get a taste of the way we do it and the way our flavor profile is on what we select. And I think it's original, and hopefully we just keep rocking and keep finding new shit that's even more special.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Well, you got to walk our facility today. I got
Oh.
to show you spectrum tuning, and
Dude.
we're done in 52 freaking days. And then you were. It was
Yeah,
interesting what you
63,
said when you walked. You walked in and you seen the rack, and you says, "Wow, that must have came from a single tier room."
I did.
And I said, "No, that's actually a double tiered room."
And that junk was about 4 foot long. That thing was about 4 and a half. It was pretty long. And
We used the space proper on that strain.
yeah, you do. And the whole facility, man. Like the design and the layout of the whole facility. Like I follow the podcast, and I listen to you talk about like how certain things, like we all do, we learn as we go, and we're like, oh, I would have done this a little different.
Sometimes things don't work.
But man, it's you did a hell of a job. And I always tell people, I mean, like actually the last time I toured your place was with Derek. Me and Derek came
Yes.
up and walked your place. And if anybody knows this, never bring your cultivator to Mango Spot because you're gonna get a damn list of what they want that's gonna be so long.
Bring the cultivator.
Bring the cultivator. Yeah.
Bring the cultivator.
Yeah. No.
Definitely don't come without the cultivator.
That's true, man.
Don't
It's
bring
where
the
look,
cultivator.
it's dope, and the fact that you're letting people walk through there. Manny wouldn't let people walk through our shit in a million years, whether our tech was high or low. And I think it's dope.
It's obviously a different. I gotta, that whole facility was built to be able to.
Yeah, but look, you could have also taken like one room and just been like, here it is through a window.
True.
So
true,
you know what I
true,
mean? Like it's dope.
True.
I think it's.
We're proud of what we do. We're proud of what we do. Just like you said, you're proud of your team. I'm proud of my team. Our team not only cultivates weed and we got to be profitable, but we have a curveball thrown at us. Well, I throw curveballs at them all the fucking time.
Yeah, you're developing products.
Developing products, and sometimes it's not the weed, it's not the person, it's just the equipment. Equipment didn't work, it failed. How can we make it better? So we do have, but you know what? I think they've learned to like that too, because it's definitely a challenge.
Well, they look at you guys are building SpaceX. You know what I mean? You guys got some other shit going on. So yeah, the rocket's gonna crash every once in a while, right? Like, that's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah, that happens.
but they do get to ride the rocket most of the time,
Yes.
and other people don't get to do that. So they have the potential to hit numbers and shit that's crazy because you're instituting technology that nobody else is going to invest money in unless it's proven, right? That's the whole play.
Unless it's your facility. You can't do the testing that we do at somebody's facility unless you kind of own it. So I'm co-partners with Troll
And you
Master.
got to have, your partner also has got to be a manufacturer. Like you've got to have someone that can literally make the changes.
Correct.
Because when you're developing a product on your own, that's a nightmare.
Yes, 100%.
I've done it. Getting a dude to program it, and then you got to schedule him for next week to talk to him about a fix that takes 30 seconds.
Yep, no, 100%. So I'm
And you're
definitely
telling
blessed
me
that
you're
I'm
getting
on my
that shit
spot.
done like literally that night. And like as far
Sometimes,
as
yes. Sometimes updates and upgrades, yes. And then sometimes you think of the weirdest things at certain times. Like, fuck, they need to make.
dude,
make that better.
nothing is touching Troll Master. Nothing is in more places I walk into than Troll Master. You guys probably, I would say, of controllers, it seems like you have like an 80% market share.
We have about 47,500 app users. So that should tell you how many people. And then you're an app user, you can have 20 controllers, one controller.
Well, this one user right here has got like 13. You know what I mean? And I'm not even all the way done. I'm still putting in those as like in all the facilities that I'm like redoing. First thing that goes in is Troll Master.
And well, hopefully I'm going to be able to get you to get one room with Think LEDs that are
All the way
spectrum
top
tunable.
and bottom. I need top and bottom.
Spectrum tunable,
Yeah.
top and bottom.
I want those inner canopies because I do think that raised up for like OGs. We've had a lot of people tell us they've had the same experience with OGs not reacting to under canopy the same way, and it might just be because that initial stretch, and those inner canopies might do a hell of a lot better job.
You know what I realized is that the inner canopy is good for 90% of the strains. There's that 10%. The ones that are short and squatty and super thick.
Yeah.
Those the under canopy might be a little bit because they're lower.
Yeah.
Some strains are so thick through the center.
Yeah.
With all the lighting that the light doesn't penetrate the other sides. Let's say.
Yep.
But that's why we have inner canopy lights and under canopy lights. And then our under are shine at 150 degree to get those lowers chunky, and the spectrum tuning is the key. Like I said, once I get you in a room where you can spectrum tune the top and the bottom, and you can shorten. You can increase the. You're a badass grower. Your
It
team's
makes
a badass
sense.
grower.
I mean, listen.
It'd be pretty cool to see you guys see what you can do with it, and
I'm gonna do a room top and bottom, man.
perfect. And then you can see the
figure it
52
out.
days. That's where your yield increase becomes. I think your quality is going to fucking increase, and per yield per harvest, no, but you can get an extra yield in the same space in a fiscal year.
Look, you know what? Like I said, I'm learning. I'm like, I just want to know more than I know now.
We learn every day.
And
There's no
that's
such a
it.
thing
And
as
that's the
master
game.
grower.
You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to
We
just.
every fucking day.
That's
Every
right.
day,
Hey, and like we talk about those power bills. Those power bills are coming, baby.
Oh my
so
God.
you better hit it because that's the
You
one thing
have
that ain't
to,
going down.
As long as you hit it most of the time, you should be okay. And like I said, we're testing, you're testing, we're testing equipment. It's just it's always a learning.
Yeah, we lose it on the hunt sometimes. I lose a lot on them sometimes. And sometimes like they try to steer the room to make 30 strains okay.
Yeah.
And then you just get a middle point for everything, not a ideal point. Not even going off a tangent, but one of one of the plants that like Derek actually brought from Washington was OGKB 2.1, a little short like cookie hybrid that was just short and squatty. I've never been able to make that thing. I never run a whole room of her, right? I always run her like with other short plants. I run a whole room of her, and I break the record for the room. It's crazy. Like monocropping, she went so awesome. But every time I run a row, it's like you just don't even want to put her in the room. So it's one of those weird,
You just
know,
gotta
like
run the whole fucking thing, or just not run it at all.
you got to eat it.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some fucking weird strains that kind of do that.
They just want that feeding completely tailored to them, or they don't pop off. They can't get that normal feeding that everybody else will take.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
All right, well.
and I mean, fucking,
we're gonna have to.
we're gonna have to freaking. I think I dropped it at the end.
All right. Hey.
I have to edit that. We'll edit that.
Well, we're good. I mean,
we'll edit
shit.
that. Damn. Oh, the G.
Yeah. Don't worry
to
about
the end of the podcast. And
You can just hit it and just keep going.
all right. No. I got high as fuck at the beginning. And I didn't know if I was gonna be able to make it. I was sweating though. They were right. That shit makes you sweat. They weren't kidding. Huh?
Shit, I know. I probably Jai probably fell asleep on me.
No, I think he went out there to freaking talk on the phone. But anyway, before this is over, once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Tinker LED, best LED lighting company in the world for horticulture, for cannabis especially, and Trollmaster, parent company, best controllers like Coca-Cola in the controller world. Once again, Mango Tech Store, beautiful background, one of the baddest backgrounds for a podcast. Mango After Hours and mango juice. If you're not juicing, you're loosing. By the way, we use our own nutrients.
I know.
What did we use it today?
What's that? What about nutrients?
We use our own nutrients.
Oh yeah.
Own brand lines right over
No,
there.
it's right there. I mean, you told me you're on.
Oh, that's right.
You're on the juice.
I'm on the juice, baby. Let's go. Check it out. Yeah, buddy. All right, that was fucking cool.
That was dope, man.
That was cool.
All right. Well, shit. Thanks for talking, man.
That was
Sitting down and
fucking-
fucking chopping it up.
That was fucking cool.
Shit. Well, there's gonna be some pissed off people. I'll tell you that. As soon as you get that edit in that.